Morning Invasion with Dex and Steve-O.
I suppose we should get going.
Yeah!
Let's go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Is this thing on? Hello. Hello.
Oh, man.
Hello. 1, 2. Check 2. 9 or 5, 4, 3. Check. We're live, everybody. Good morning. We're back. It's all Steve-O's fault. That's what it is.
Okay.
It's all Steve-O's fault. That's why we didn't do the show yesterday.
Actually, in my best of yesterday, I kicked it off live, so
Oh, you did?
everybody knows that you were sick.
Yeah.
That we were listening in the 6 o'clock hour anyways.
I came to work yesterday, and about an hour and a half into work, I ran to the bathroom, and
You don't have to
just,
share. You don't have
I gotta share details.
No, okay.
I have to.
You don't have to share details.
I started sweating. It's like I had the meat sweats, man. I haven't sweat like that since the last time I meat sweat.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I'm still a little, but I'm here. Good morning, everybody. Man, it's March 1st. What's happened? Did February even happen? Where did February go?
I don't even know, dude. It is the shortest month of the year. But it's March. Shout out to Julian on YouTube Live who said the best of yesterday was good.
Good job, man. Way to go.
Thanks, bro.
Yay!
You know? Just wanted to find all of our best moments.
We have so many to choose from.
So many.
Welcome to the show, everybody. You guys can be a part of the show. There's so many ways that you can interact with us. We're live on YouTube, youtube.com/star88fm. Go subscribe to our page. You can watch the show live and comment, be a part of what's happening. Also, facebook.com/star88fm. Go like our page, and you can be a part of that little community right there on Facebook. Have you seen the new social app that everybody's joining right now? It's like Viner. Is it Viner?
Vino.
Vino?
I have not.
We got to check that out.
No.
I'm waiting for, I can't download it because I'm waiting for my new bank card to get in. I can't download anything.
Wait, what? Oh, it's not free?
Somebody hacked into my account from Turkey. So they had to send me a new card. Okay. Well, it's free, but they still have to have your debit card in there. And
No.
Well, yeah.
Oh, you mean in the
my
App Store?
I can't
was
download
like, no,
anything.
dude, we're not getting that.
Can't download anything.
Yeah.
But I guess everybody's downloading this new social network called Vino.
I've seen. Hey, when you talk, can you speak that way so that you don't project germs on me? I'm so scared of getting sick. I don't want to get sick, bro. I don't want to get sick. Hey, does it look like I'm making out with myself?
Yeah. This is radio. Nobody can see you.
You can. That's for you, man. If I was doing it for everybody else, it'd be like this way.
Steve-O's making
Which, by the way,
out.
why isn't it like up here? You know what I mean? You like grab the
Well, you
neck.
could.
Whoa.
That looks weird. That looks real. Another reason why you should probably not watch us live.
I haven't done that since like high school. I just forgot what that was like.
My arms aren't long
making
enough.
out
I don't
with
think I can
myself.
do it.
Oh. Oh.
You see him?
I kind of.
See my hands?
It looks like you're getting choked.
Oh. They're not long enough. Little T-Rex, little T-Dex arms. Yeah.
Oh, man.
You guys can text into the show 505-585-LIVE. Shoot us a text to be a part of the show. You can also call in. Phone lines are open, 505-338-3700. Shout out to the Starmy members who called the live line and left voicemails.
Next message.
Star 88 has brought laughter to our morning every morning, and it's just we laugh and touch often, and it's thought provoking and
Thank you. Okay, appreciate that. You could call back and leave another message. Kind of broke up there for a second. You guys can call and leave voicemails if you have promo ideas. Shout out to all the Starmy members that on Tuesday called in with some sweet little promos for the show. We loved it. It's great. Guys, I'm really excited because it's Thursday, and we have BNix coming on in the 7 o'clock hour for 3 Degrees. We also have Stephen Christian joining us for Shock Therapy Live. But also on the show...
I can't believe... Okay.
Who's this?
Guys, normally I book the interviews. Dex booked this one. He is so excited.
Is this Big Time Rush? Is that James?
I wish this were a joke. I got the email yesterday confirming our interview, and I was like, what has he done?
What? Really?
What has he done?
You can never say that to me. Out
I'm
of
saying
all of the interviews that you've booked that were just absolutely terrible. The reason I booked James from Big Time Rush, nobody knows who Big Time Rush is.
James Maslow from Big Time Rush, anyone?
Big Time Rush was a really popular kids show on Nickelodeon, and they were also a boy band.
Oh.
Very successful. Yeah. And Landon, my youngest son,
His birthday's
loved
July
it.
16th, yo.
Really? That's a sign.
Share a birthday.
It's a sign,
He's
guys.
from New York, just like me.
Uh-huh.
He has a dad. Never mind.
Okay. Well, he's on the show this morning because there's a show that I love. I'm a huge Big Brother fan on CBS. It's one of my favorite shows. And they just came out with a Celebrity Big... Actually, the season's over now. But Celebrity Big Brother, where they took a bunch of celebrities and put them in a house, and they all had to compete in challenges, and the winner would win $250,000. Did you see the cast that was on Big Brother?
I'm looking at it now because of James Maslow's tweets, bro.
Miss Columbia.
Columbia!
Brandy from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
No, like Brandy, though?
No, not Brandy, the singer, no. Chuck Liddell, UFC superstar Chuck Liddell, and he's awesome in the show.
Mark McGrath?
Mark McGrath, he's so old.
That's all I care about.
He's so old, guys.
No, guys, that's all I care about. If you had gotten Mark McGrath, I'd have been like, dude, yes!
Yeah.
Mark McGrath! Celebrity Big Brother, am I right? Sugar Ray!
They had Shannon Elizabeth. She was the American Pie actress.
Yeah.
We had an opportunity with her, but I passed
saw
on
that.
out.
I know. It was like, what do you say to her? Hey, so,
Okay. All right.
it's good to have you on the show.
That's enough.
I just want you to know that you got me through a really tough time.
Also, Keisha Knight, former The Cosby Show actress. Former The Cosby Show actress?
Yeah, she's from The Cosby Show.
Okay.
Keisha Knight.
Marissa Jarrett Winokur, Broadway actress. Meta World Peace, former NBA player.
Do you think anybody accidentally called him Ron? Can that be one of my questions? How many people called him Ron? Excuse me, Mr. Artest. Oh, wait. Meta?
Amorosa. She was on Celebrity Apprentice with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And she was the villain of the reality star stuff. Everybody hated her. And Ross Matthews, that's who's on Celebrity Big Brother. And of course James from Big Time Rush.
I mean, they only got the biggest celebrities.
They're huge, guys. These are all A-list. No, they're not. They're like D.
Triple A.
Triple A's.
Triple A. Maybe
Yeah.
double A ball. Maybe double A.
Yeah, that's what I did yesterday while I was sick. I just binge watched Celebrity Big Brother because I hadn't watched this season yet. So I'm almost caught up. But coming up around 7:20, we got James from Big Time Rush going to talk about Celebrity Big Brother. He finished 6th place. Spoiler alert. How are you? You good?
Yeah. I didn't know what to do with myself yesterday.
I know.
I came into work and it was like, okay, I'll do this. I'll produce some stuff. I ended up leaving and then I was so bored at home that I actually came back to work. Wow. I don't have anything else to do.
Should have just went home and went to bed.
No, I can't go back to bed.
I know, right? That's hard.
I got to go home though and get the kids up yesterday.
Oh, nice.
That was cool.
See,
Surprised
that's
the
cool.
boys. They were like, it was very, very rare. So that was
That's
exciting.
cool.
And then it was like, well, everybody left. I'm gonna go to work, I guess.
Yeah.
So I came back here. Went to the comic shop. Like, who are my friends? I'm definitely not hanging out with Dex because he's throwing up.
Yep.
I'll go to Astro Zombies. And then I surprised Chrissy, and we went and had like a lunch date.
No way. That's cool.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Good. Right on.
Got to do that sometimes, guys.
Yeah, at least once a year.
You gotta have a co-host who gets sick and throws up so that you can surprise people.
It's crazy, man. This year has not been good for me. I need to never say I never get sick again.
Right?
Because
you said that.
I did. Last year, I wasn't sick one time last year. I don't think I ever took a day off last year,
Which
unless
is funny,
it was vacation.
I was like, I was so prone to sickness last year.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what happened. My immunities were built up, and yours came crashing down.
Maybe I need to start eating sugar again.
No.
Maybe that's why I'm getting sick.
I don't eat that much sugar.
Maybe that's why I'm getting sick.
Maybe.
Just saying.
Those are called withdrawals. That's a little different. That's what you're going through.
I've been off
Did you
it
have
for
the
2
shakes?
months, man.
Did you have the shakes?
No.
Did you smell something yesterday you shouldn't have, like donuts?
No. In fact, I haven't ate anything since. I didn't eat anything yesterday. I didn't eat anything yesterday. I might die, guys. My stomach is eating itself right now. I'm actually not even hungry. It's weird.
Oh, see, I'm really hungry.
I actually have to go to the bathroom. I'll be right
Okay.
back.
Don't do this to me today. Don't you leave me. I get stuck interviewing, what's his name? James?
James.
So, what was it like on Celebrity Big Brother?
You don't even know how the show works.
Did you like being in Rascal Flats?
Yeah. I hope to be on Big Brother someday.
How does it work? I seriously don't know how the show works. I've never seen it.
So you take a group of people, you put them in a house.
Okay.
They live in the
The
house
real world.
together. And they're shut off from the outside world.
Here's a true story. True story!
And so they compete every week to be head of household. Somebody who gets the HOA, head of household, is the one who gets to nominate 2 people to go up on the block for the other
Wouldn't it be
cast.
HOH? HOA is like your homeowner fees.
Thank you. Did I say HOA? Sorry, HOH. So glad
You get
So glad
nominated
you listened.
to be the HOA, and then you can charge people whatever you want.
I meant HOH.
$85 a month?
Guys, I'm
yeah,
sick.
because
I'm
what
sick.
are you going to do? Tell them no? Thanks, HOA fees.
Yeah, HOA just jumps in and they're like Nazis. But yeah, they nominate the HOH nominates 2 people to go up on the block, and then the rest of the house votes out somebody every week until there's 2 people left, and the winner gets $250,000. So that's basically the concept: is they challenge, and then there's drama, and yeah.
And for these celebrities, they need the $250,000.
You're right. It's funny because I was waiting for them to talk about the charity that they were going to donate the money to. No, there's no charity.
Yeah,
It's
right.
going directly
It's like
to them.
Into Mark McGrath's bank account.
I don't
for
think
his
that guy
retirement.
needs any.
No.
No. Rest of them, though, I mean.
To me, Mark McGrath was probably the biggest celebrity on
He's
that
so
season.
old, too.
Don't tell me
He's
that.
50. He's 50. It's so crazy.
Every morning there's a halo hanging from the corner of my girlfriend's four-post bed.
Chuck Liddell is awesome. He's so great in the show. He looks mean all the time.
Well, yeah, it's Chuck Liddell.
The girls were putting fake nails on him,
I can't.
giving him spa treatments.
Guys, we're interviewing James Maslow today.
Yeah, it was great. Big time rush.
Sarah's freaking out.
Yeah, Sarah. Is that my friend Sarah? Yep, Sarah. That's my Big Brother friend.
Okay.
We always discuss Big Brother together.
Okay.
She gave me a bunch of questions since I didn't finish the season. I got your questions all lined up for James. Appreciate you, Sarah. That's coming up this morning at 7:20. Sorry, we had to push BNix back a little bit.
We're not pushing BNix. We should make BNix interview him.
No, I want this
'cause
is
he
a
always
serious
asks
interview.
yeah, he would be serious. He'd be inquisitive.
He doesn't
like,
know anything about the show.
I-
We only get 10 minutes. I got questions. I need to get on Big Brother, guys.
This is one of those interviews where I'm not going to talk. It's going to be like reverse of normal interviews. I'm just going to sit there and you're going to nerd out.
You know what? Plan your bathroom break at 7:20. How about that?
I can do that. I can do
appreciate
that, guys.
So you're just going to take up all of my time asking questions that nobody cares about because I'm a Big Brother fanatic. Okay.
Are there teams?
Well, so you align yourself. It's all about.
Like, could we go on?
We could.
Would we be a team?
I mean,
Would
we
you be my
could.
teammate?
I think a lot
Would
of
you align yourself with
well,
me?
the strategy is if we went in and knew each other, is that we don't let anybody else know that we're friends.
I don't understand how this works. Like, how do you win?
How do you win? You just don't get voted off. You don't want to get up on the block, and you try to win the HOH every week. So you have to align yourself with the right people.
I've never seen a single episode.
It's pretty cool.
Of Big Brother.
It's a lot
Forget
of fun.
Celebrity Big Brother, just Big Brother in general.
Yeah,
I don't even know what the
we
show's
watched
like.
it as a family for years.
Okay.
It's if you got kids, it's really good. It's really fun. So there you go. 7:20 James from Big Time Rush will be on the show to talk about this season of Celebrity Big Brother. Let's see what else.
I've got a bunch to talk about. I'm so sad we didn't have a show
He wants to talk about guns, guys.
I want to talk about Dick's Sporting Goods, bro. Gots to. It's where my kids buy their baseball gear.
Okay.
They did something huge. And the world went, yeah! And then someone, yeah! And others were like, "Arr!" It's crazy.
Wow. Okay.
Also, a couple days ago, we talked about Chris Pratt, remember, and getting all that trash for telling Kevin Smith he was going to pray for him. Kevin Smith actually had an update.
Good.
Yeah.
He looks so skinny.
Gosh.
Saw him.
I know.
He's back
Kevin
at
Smith
home.
had an update. Unfortunately, we can't play the audio because there's a lot of language.
Yeah.
However, Kevin Smith came to the defense of Chris Pratt.
Well, I would hope so.
One of the people that came to his defense, James Gunn, dropped a nerd bombshell yesterday on Twitter.
Really?
I feel like you may actually care about this nerd news. And anyone who has ever seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volumes 1 and 2, James Gunn said something yesterday that completely changed the films.
Nerd alert!
Oh, I did see this. I know what you're talking about.
People are freaking out on this.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay.
But we've
I
got
think
to
I know
talk
what you're
about
talking about. I think I know what you're talking
Does it
about.
involve your favorite actor on the planet?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Okay, he's not my favorite anymore.
He's
The
your
Rock
favorite
is my
actor on the
favorite.
planet.
Vin Diesel is, second place. So, well, you know what? I don't even think second. I'm not even a huge fan anymore. You know what?
Wow.
I'm done with him.
Keanu for life, bro. My loyalties, dog. Keanu.
All right, before we go to break, let's kick off the show with a story of hope. A story that hopefully will encourage you. A story of courage. A story about Facebook. A 16-year-old kid in Wayland, Michigan recently started choking, and his mom was the only one with him.
Oh my gosh.
For some reason, she wasn't able to do the Heimlich. And she also didn't have access to a phone to call 911.
Okay.
But she did have access to the internet. So she got on Facebook.
Heck yeah. And she found the police and video chat.
Nobody asked
I
you.
I don't know what you would do.
She jumped on Facebook
Wait.
and tried to get in touch with her local fire department.
Okay, it's a little better.
She starts posting things. Somebody call 911. Somebody call. No, she reached out to her local fire department. Unfortunately, she sent a message to the fire department in Wayland, Massachusetts by
my gosh.
mistake. But luckily, someone there happened to see it come in, and they immediately got on the phone with firefighters in Wayland, Michigan, and sent an ambulance to the address the woman listed in her message.
Oh my gosh.
And even though she contacted the wrong fire department 800 miles away, they still saved the kid's life.
This is a great story. Never mind.
Zuckerberg, 2020.
What? No.
What?
Too far. He created a great social media platform.
Yeah,
but we
saving
don't-
lives.
Okay.
He's a super smart
He
guy.
didn't save anyone's life.
Well, he did.
I mean,
Facebook wasn't around, then this kid probably would have died. I mean, maybe.
parents, the Heimlich is like, you
Yeah,
don't
we
know how to.
YouTube that, guys. If you don't know how to do the Heimlich,
Right.
YouTube it.
That would.
She gets on YouTube
That'd
real
have
quick.
been even worse.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. You do. Okay. We're gonna do this. Be like, dude. Yesterday, Chrissy. Okay. I don't
Chrissy
know.
save your life?
No, she saved her own life.
Oh my gosh.
She, a few months ago, in her giant minivan that has a reverse camera so you can see clearly what is behind you, still somehow managed to run into
No
a
way.
pole and damage the rear end of her vehicle. Have you seen it? You know how it's like just crushed?
Are you kidding me?
Her minivan?
Yeah, I
This
saw
was
the kids
long
working to
time
try to
ago.
get the.
And so she's like, I'm just gonna do these things, and we're gonna have bake sales, and we're gonna raise money, and I'm gonna pay for this myself. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And so then she takes it into the body mechanic guy, and they look it over and they assess, and they're like, oh yeah, this is a pretty good
10
fix.
grand.
We could fix this for like $2,300.
Okay. $2,300.
It was something astronomical, outrageous, ridiculous. It's an auto body
Yeah.
repair shop, so of course. So yesterday she was looking at it and she said, you know what, self? I'm tired of looking at this.
Oh no.
So last night was my night to cook dinner, so I'm in there like rocking the best meatloaf I've ever made in my life. I got a new recipe, I'm telling you guys. It was the dopest meatloaf I've ever made. So I'm in there like sauteing celery and onions and garlic, and Chrissy's coming up and down the stairs, and I see her. She's got a blow dryer, and she's like holding her cell phone. She's doing all these things. I'm like, what is happening? And all of a sudden, Jack's coming downstairs with like a metal bat, and they're all like going into the garage.
They're not saying anything?
Not saying anything. And I'm just like, okay, I don't know what's going on over there. I'm just going to keep cooking and just mixing all these things. Okay, cool. And 1 raw egg. Okay, cool. I'm just going to put all this together. 2 pounds ground beef. And then all of a sudden they all come in the house. Yeah! They're like cheering and they're going crazy. And I'm like, what is happening to my crazy family? And they're like, you got to come to the garage. They go to the garage. Doot, 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 doot. They fixed her rear
No
end.
way.
Never surrender.
They fixed it? I saw Brody with a blow dryer. Did they YouTube that?
They had to like heat. Yeah, that's how they YouTubed it. They just heated up the fender.
What?
Jack somehow got under the car and like got all of his might and started like just slowly trying to push it out. And apparently we're opening an auto body repair shop because completely
out of your
fixed
garage.
The rear end of the van.
Can your family fix my car?
Yeah, no, that's metal. That's metal. You're hosed.
Oh.
You got an old car. We have a plastic car that apparently you just take like a curling iron. Maybe.
How do you know? Maybe they can.
You got
Maybe
a
they
flat
can do
iron
it
over here.
Maybe they could YouTube it and fix it.
Get your blow dryer. I was very impressed.
Good
I'm
job,
not gonna lie.
Jeter family.
Jeter family came in and completely fixed the van. I'm like, all right.
That saved you $2,300.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Yeah. That's really funny. Yeah, it's so funny. You could save so much money by just YouTubing things.
Yeah.
If you lock your
It's
keys in the
unbelievable.
car.
Seriously.
You just YouTube it, and they'll tell you how to get your keys out, which I feel bad because there's a lot of business out there that make money off of that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can actually save a lot of money.
Yeah. So Britt and Thebes said that I'm in trouble because I'm like putting Chrissy on blast. But the story ended with her fixing her whatever.
Yeah.
What do you call that? Literally at her parents' house. Like, it's not like, oh, I didn't know that pole was there for 27 years.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah. Seriously, guys, YouTube is your friend. They fixed the rear end of the car.
Good job. And it was a woman that did it.
Okay.
Did I
To
just
be
say that out
fair,
loud?
no, because Brody and Jack helped, so
Oh.
there were 2 men and 1
Okay.
female. You always just got the ratio was okay. It was acceptable. We'll both go.
Yeah, I just
We'll
got
leave.
a text from Chrissy.
Oh, good.
When I see you next, I'm going to punch you in the nose. Okay, cool. We got to take a quick break. We're live from the Dreams Tower Modeling Star 88 Studios. Good morning, everybody. When we come back, we got some headlines. Hang out.
All right, everybody. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Invasion. It is my privilege to introduce to you your hosts, Dex and Stevo. who will be taking you through some fantastic and entertaining programming this morning. You may be exposed to such stimulating content as Quality Tam Tuesday, 3 Degrees with Brian Nixon, Fridays with the Schwan, Shock Therapy, Slow Motion Theater, and your favorite game show, Hollywood Hits. But you better enjoy the best radio show around, because at this rate, Dex and Steve-O will be replaced by Timbuktu by next week. Am I right? All right.
We're all on a mission, right? So, what's yours? Get clear instruction from God's Word on the Star 88 Mission Briefing. We picked our favorite Bible teachers, so you don't have to spend hours digging through iTunes looking for the podcast. Every Sunday starting at 6 p.m., you'll hear from the best Bible teachers like Ravi Zacharias, Skip Heitzig, Levi Lusko, and more. The full lineup is at star88.fm. Tune in Sundays, 6 p.m., only on Star 88.
This week on Connect with Skip Heitzig, Skip challenges you to evaluate the foundation of your beliefs.
What we think about God determines what we think about everything else. You get Him wrong, you get life wrong. And so theology is essential for life.
Connect with Skip Heitzig every day this week as he continues the series Rock Solid.
Make an appointment for Skip Heitzig weekdays at 8 a.m. on our sister station, KNKT 107.1 FM. Max Lucado reminds us that God meets our daily needs daily, not weekly or annually. He will give you what you need when it's needed. A solar flare on Star 88. Here's the Star PowerPoint from Billy Graham.
We're just going to shut up and let him preach it.
Now, there are several great words on the power and value of the blood around which the music of the angelic host in this 5th chapter of Revelation is gathered. The first word is redemption. Redemption. For as much as ye know that ye were not redeemed with corruptible things such as silver and gold, but with the precious blood of Christ, a lamb without blemish. You go to a pawn shop, and articles of value are placed for a loan. A time limit is set, and the failure of the borrower to reimburse with interest, the pawn shop automatically releases the article to the public. And any person putting up that amount required is able to buy out of the pawn that article. And this is called redemption. Redemption. We redeem it out of the pawn shop. Now, the Bible teaches that we as a human race are in the pawn shop of the devil. And by disobedience, we're enslaved and spiritually under his authority, unable to redeem ourselves. And Christ died on the cross and paid the price for our salvation and redeemed us by the giving of his own blood.
Star 88, Star PowerPoint.
Hey, what's going on in the news today?
Jared Kushner's access to highly classified information cut off after he was stripped of his temporary top-secret security clearance, part of a recent crackdown by the Chief of Staff, John Kelly.
The CEO of Dick's Sporting Goods says he's pulling assault rifles from store shelves.
We were so disturbed and saddened by what happened, we felt we really needed to do something.
U.S. pedestrian deaths spiked to 6,000 last year, according to the Governor's Highway Safety Association. Experts say the rise over the past few years comes as more people use smartphones and as recreational marijuana becomes legal in more states.
France is accusing Syrian President Bashar al-Assad of sabotaging last weekend's UN ceasefire resolution.
Only a handful of private citizens have ever had the honor of lying in honor at the Capitol. The Reverend Billy Graham has now joined that short list.
The Canadian $1,000 bill is no longer legal tender. The Bank of Canada actually stopped printing the bills 18 years ago.
Hey guys, good morning. We're live from the Dreamstyle Remodeling Star 88 Studios. Download the Star 88 app to your smartphone. You can stream us live right there. You can get us on demand. Good morning. 3 degrees with BNix coming up in 7 o'clock hour.
What else is coming up in the 7 o'clock hour? Who's so excited for this?
Sing it, James. Sing it. James Maslow. You know who he is.
He's an actor, a singer, best known for starring in Big Time Rush on Nickelodeon and performing as a member of the boy band of the same name. Yeah.
I don't even think he's calling in for Celebrity Big Brother now that I
His
read
first
everything.
solo album came out last year for the new singles Falling and that remix, How I Like It. But he was most recently on Celebrity Big Brother, where he finished in 6th.
Yeah, all my questions are about Celebrity Big Brother.
Can I say 6th? Bro, 6th place is 5th loser.
Pretty much. Yep. So he'll be on the show at 7:20. I'm a Big Brother fan, so I thought I'd book the interview. Someday I'll be on the show.
Huge fan.
I'll be on that show someday.
Huge fan. Why can't we go on The Amazing Race?
See, that'd be fun.
Because we're a team.
We should apply.
We're a duo.
We should find out.
We should.
How we
How do you get on The Amazing Race?
Well, I know a lot of times they have auditions and stuff in cities.
So, but here's the thing. Last time I went and did a park wad with our dear friend Joe Hawk, you like seriously sat against a tree and watched us.
Yeah, I was smart.
I feel great.
Well, are you going to continue doing what you're doing?
Sure.
Okay.
Today, actually.
See, I think it's the dumbest thing to go work out once and then stop.
No, I'm serious today.
Okay, good. Why would I go work out if I'm not planning on to continue doing it?
You should continue.
Well, I want to. I don't have.
We went to a park. You don't need exercise stuff.
I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Trying to find where we can be on The Amazing Race.
Good. We can apply. We do well.
Could we still do the morning show? Like on the road?
No, we couldn't do the morning show.
Why not?
Because you're constantly traveling.
Yeah. Whatever, we take the show on the road.
It's a race, bro.
Okay. One of us drives.
No, we play best of until we come back.
No, I don't want it then.
We play best of.
I don't want it.
A month tops, I'm sure, is how long it takes to film The Amazing Race every season. We'll be gone for a month, guys. That's it. I'm sorry. You know what? You know who could fill in?
How to apply.
Tam could fill in. She could just do the show for us.
Okay.
Or Daniel and Heidi could. They could fill in. Anyways. You guys can text into the show 505-585-LIVE. Good morning, YouTube. Go subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet. Star 88 FM on YouTube. And we're live on Facebook. Carl, Britt Romney's hanging out. I know, people hate best of. Kim, good morning. Welcome to the show, Facebook. Let's find out what's going on in the news. The snooze.
Good morning and welcome. John Jones.
John Bounce Jones?
Local hero-ish. Local vigilante? He's like the Punisher. At one time you loved him, now you're unsure because he kills people.
What?
The Punisher. Not talking about John Jones. John Jones has not killed a dude.
Gosh.
That we know of.
Oh my gosh.
John Jones' return to the UFC is not imminent. The former light heavyweight champion who had the anabolic steroid turnable show up in his urine following a post-fight drug test on July 29th had his license revoked and was fined $205,000 on Tuesday by the California State Athletic Commission.
$205,000.
Here's the deal, my bro. He can, however, reapply for a license to fight in August.
That's good news.
That's not that far away, guys. That's like 6 months. 5 months. It's March. 5 months from now. However, he still faces punishment from the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency, which administers the UFC's anti-doping policy.
Yeah, so that's what we have to wait on is the whole anti-doping agency.
I mean,
got to wait on USADA.
Yeah. But CSAC, come on. The CSAC, they were good. Oh, what? You can say USADA, but I can't say CSAC?
CSAC?
Yeah, California State Athletic Commission. Everybody knows they call them CSAC.
Uh-huh.
The CSAC, dog.
Yeah.
What do you call it? The CSAC? Come on, bro. Get with the times.
Oh, my gosh.
I mentioned this earlier. James Gunn dropped a bombshell yesterday on us, and I don't know how to feel about Guardians of the Galaxy. And then you get news like this. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is happening! And here's the deal, my bro. A fan tweeted director James Gunn and said that he should cast Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill!
Mark Hamill?
You know, Luke Skywalker. In Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And James replied with this. I think he lives around the corner from me in Malibu, so he could just come over and we could talk about it over a cup of coffee.
Yay!
You know, just trying to help a fan out or something. Well, then Mark Hamill replied and said, I'd be happy to do so, both as a good neighbor and an unemployed actor. And then he added another one. DM me for my contact info if you're serious and a good neighbor. So as far as we know, Mark Hamill is kicking it with James Gunn.
Yay!
That's cool.
Makes me so happy.
That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, this makes me so happy.
Mark Hamill's a terrible actor.
You take that back.
What else has he been in besides Star Wars?
Batman animated series. He played the Joker.
Yeah, animated series.
He was incredible.
Yeah, he's a great voice actor.
He was in The Flash. He's the trickster.
He was terrible.
I don't like you anymore. I can't be your friend. I don't want to go on
He's
the
got
Amazing
a
Race
great
with you.
voice.
I changed my mind.
He's amazing.
I don't
I
wanna
get
do
it.
that
I
with
get
you.
he's a great voice actor.
Gosh.
But the guy can't act.
Okay.
Go back and watch the old Star Wars and you tell me. Am I right or am I wrong?
No.
Am I right? I'm right.
That's impossible. Oh. Okay. I need sad music, bro.
Sad music?
I need sad music for this one. Guys, James Gunn not only tweeted Mark Hamill and got the ball rolling on Mark Hamill being in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, he also dropped a crazy nerd bombshell on everybody. For anybody who has not seen Guardians of the Galaxy, first of all, what? It's one of the best Marvel movies ever created. However, there's a part in the movie where one character sacrifices himself to save the others in a scene that makes me cry literally every single time I watch it. When homie says, "We are Groot," I'm like, yes, we are! And then it's sad. And then at the end of the movie, you see the little Groot sprout, and you're thinking, He's back.
Oh, yeah. Groot's
He's
back.
alive.
Yeah.
He came back. Except you'd be dead wrong.
I am Groot.
Oh.
I am Groot. I'm Groot. I am Groot.
Sorry, that was the only thing I could find in the system.
Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn cleared up the status of the original Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, and there's seriously no other way to say it than homie is deceased.
It's so
he
funny.
He is dead. He is no more.
It did actually cross my mind when Baby Groot showed up.
Yeah.
If it was actually Groot or it was like he gave birth in some way to another different Groot.
So here's the deal to destroy little children's souls everywhere. Turns out, in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, Groot sacrificed himself and died. He's dead. And the little stick that they grew, Baby Groot, is his child. That's why he acts completely differently. He's got a potty mouth. His mannerisms are crazy. Baby Groot is not, in fact, like a reincarnated Groot from the first movie. That super big, kind, lovely man. Baby Groot is completely different. Baby Groot is his son.
You know what's funny about this?
What?
In reality, Groot isn't dead because he's not real.
Okay.
He's fake. It's a movie.
Okay.
You can make up whatever you want. It's some stupid guy named James Gunn who directed it.
He is not stupid.
What? Oh. Whoever wrote that in.
I'm not kidding, guys. I woke up to this news this morning and I was like, I don't know how to live. James Gunn tweeted, first Groot is dead. Baby Groot is his son. That's why he has a different personality. Sadly, that also means, because he tweeted this, Baby Groot has no memory of his father.
Oh my gosh. Guys, it's not real. It's a movie.
James also said that the other Guardians were aware of this in the filming. Would you think an infant was your dead grandfather? That little jerk has no clue what's going on. He's a baby. Sorry to ruin it for everybody.
Whatever.
Sorry to ruin it. But now when you go back and watch Guardians 1, you just weep because he's dead and he's never coming back.
Okay. I like Baby Groot better anyways.
Leave.
No. Can't make me.
Baby Groot is a jerk and I don't like him.
He's a kid. He's a baby. Of course he's going to be an idiot. Gosh, why am I even having this conversation with you? It's a movie.
He's a jerk. James Gunn even talked about like when he was like going over which button to press and everything. It was like, of course, like Big Groot would have known because he was smart and he was kind and he was. Baby Groot's a jerk.
We'll give him some time to develop into a human being. Human being. He's a tree. He's a tree because it's a movie.
You know what? People are mourning right now, okay? Just because you're heartless. This is real life, guys. I'm getting texts left and right. Shout out to my boy Ariel.
Oh my gosh.
Derek says, nah, bro. Baby Groot was better. What?
I think you need therapy.
I didn't say the second movie wasn't good. I'm just saying.
Second movie was great.
Baby Groot, he was a jerk.
It's on Netflix right now.
And then there are other people who are like, well, duh, Baby Groot had a different personality. Yeah. Obs. No! It was not obvious to anyone! How are we supposed to know that? I don't know how I can do this.
It's so funny. Everybody thinks that at the end of Breaking Bad that Walter White died. I don't think he did.
Oh, gosh.
He didn't die. He didn't die.
Yeah.
Show me evidence that he died. Where's the body? Where's Jesse at? Did you actually see what's his face Breaking Bad writer guy?
Vince Gilligan.
Vince Gilligan actually talked about where he thinks Jesse's at now. Like, where would he be? Because Jesse got in the car and took off, and then the cops were all like flying by. And he recently said, well, I hope that he got away from the cops and the cops didn't pull him over.
That's true.
But he went through a lot,
Yeah.
paid his dues, being tortured, and hopefully he's living a good life and he found a good girlfriend.
Okay. Moving on, but still talking about Guardians of the Galaxy because nerd. Chris Pratt, we talked about this yesterday. He took some heat for offering prayers to Kevin Smith as he recovers from a massive heart attack, but Kevin had his back, and I'm so glad he did. In a video to fans, he said, poor Chris Pratt, one of my favorite actors on the planet, puts up a nice tweet where he's just like, hey man, I don't know you too much, but I love Clerks and I'm praying for you. Please don't fight over stuff like that. It's a waste of time. Prayer, whether you're religious or not, somebody saying I'll pray for you, it's like good intentions, man. It's very nice.
Did we have that conversation on Monday or Tuesday?
It was on Tuesday because it was with our Kevin Sorbo interview.
That's right. Yeah, if you missed that, you guys need to go back to the podcast and listen to that. We had a pretty good conversation.
It was in the hour with the Sorbos.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't play the clip from Kevin Smith because that was my. Did you see him talk yesterday?
Yeah.
It was really nice. What
Kevin
he had to
Smith
say.
is one of the nicest guys. I've interviewed him a few times. He is so great, and every time he would interview us, he would act like we had been friends forever.
I love that man.
He's just such a nice guy.
Although, guys, for reals, as Chris Pratt said, be praying for him. Be praying for him, man, because when you go through a life or death moment like that, it causes you to reflect on some things. And he was even saying that, like, he thought of his wife, he thought of his daughter, he thought of, like, everything, his career, and he was content. And he was like, he didn't want to die, but he was okay dying. But clearly we know Kevin Smith doesn't know the Lord, and he talked about, was I going to cry out to God in that moment? And he said, well, after making Dogma, I just didn't think I could.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you always can.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one is ever too far gone.
Right.
So.
And his biggest regret was that he didn't make Jay and Silent Bob Part 2.
Dude.
That's his biggest regret in life.
Yeah.
That's
so.
I don't know if he's being
now
funny
you got time,
or that's
bro.
real.
You make that.
I don't know.
You make that.
Yeah, pray for Kevin Smith.
Okay. All right, you and I are both dads. We got boys. You've had the talk, right? You know.
What's the talk?
The talk.
The talk?
The talk. You know.
What kind of talk?
Birds and the bees.
Oh, birds and the bees. Yeah,
You know what
of
I'm
course.
saying?
Yeah, when
The
they were
talk.
6.
Right. You got to have that talk.
Yeah, you got to have it
It's
early,
important.
man.
And men, it's your duty, bro. Okay? I don't care how much money you got. Wait, you get $3,500? Wait. Okay. Never mind. Couple in the UK recently posted on a website for childcare professionals looking to hire someone else to explain the birds and the bees to their kids so they don't have to. And they're offering $3,500 to do so. Where's the... Okay,
Where's
hold
Alexa
on.
at?
Where's the...
Well, I was going to ask... Oh, she's right there. Hold on.
Okay.
Alexa, tell me about the birds and the bees.
What?
Sorry, I don't know that.
Okay.
Whatever. Thanks,
This
Alexa.
this is why they're offering up $3,500 because Alexa can't tell you this, guys.
$3,500?
Hey, ask,
To have somebody
let's see.
else?
Let's see. Hey, Siri. Tell me about the birds and the bees.
Let me think about that. My web search turned something up for tell me about the birds and the bees.
Okay. Well, you guys are stupid. Oh, wait, no. I got a link on here. How to talk to your kids about... Okay, anyways. All right.
So wait, so they're so these parents don't want to do it.
They
so
want a licensed child care professional texting Chrissy right now.
Wow. You know what?
They want them to cover a range of topics, including sex.
What if it was
Also-
with the parents?
This is weird.
What if it was with the parents though? What if you hired some professional person to
What do
sit
you-
down
what
with
do you
you
mean?
and your kids
Okay.
and have the talk? I think it's weird if you just sent your kids to this professional and they gave the talk.
Uh-huh.
But if that person was there,
yeah.
Okay, they would still be weird.
It's definitely weird.
Yeah. That's why you got to do it young. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's so funny because in this article, it talks about the fact they have 2 kids, a son and a daughter, who are 7 and 8 years old. And in the article, they're like, Psh, seems a little young to be talking to... Nope, dude, it
No.
might be too late.
No, for real. You guys need to start talking to your kids at like age 6 about the birds and the bees. I'm serious. I had some of the best conversations
I got
with my
a
kids.
question about that. Why is it called that? That's my big question. Why do we call it the birds and the bees?
Google it.
I don't want to because Alexa couldn't tell us anything about
That's
it.
true.
Neither could Siri. Anyone? Anyone?
I can't. I can't tell you about the birds and the bees, man.
No,
because
I don't want to know about the bird. I want to know
I'll
why
get fired.
Never mind.
We got to take a quick break, guys. We have to. We have to. If you're a fan of Celebrity Big Brother on CBS, James from Big Time Rush will be on the show at 7:20. We got 3 Degrees with Brian Nixon, all coming up from the Dream Style Remodeling Star 88 Studios.
You are my starshine, my only starshine. You make me happy when the skies are gray. You'll never know how much I love you. Please don't take my starshine away.
Hi, I'm Todd Nettleton, and this is the Voice of the Martyrs Radio. In central Vietnam, a group of Christians lost their homes and farmland because of their faith in Christ. Where hostilities are present and media coverage is limited, persecution of Christians comes in many forms. These Vietnamese believers found their crops destroyed, their livestock killed, food stolen, and their homes bulldozed into a river by local officials. Though forced to relocate and live in tents, they continue to boldly share Christ with those around them. And because of their hard work, their new farms are thriving. Pray that these courageous believers will continue to persevere and see more Vietnamese place their faith in Christ as they obediently witness for Him.
I will not let my brothers and sisters suffer in silence.
Nor will I let them serve alone.
To join me in prayer for persecuted Christians,
go to VOMradio.net.
A Star 88 Supernova with Greg Laurie.
Everybody has video cameras and cameras on their phones today, and everything's being recorded wherever you go. If you think that mankind can do this, don't you think the creator of the universe has some pretty tricked out and sophisticated recording equipment? Everything that we do, whether it be good or bad, is recorded, and we will be judged for it. Ecclesiastes 12:14. Every idle word, the Bible says, a man speaks, he'll give an account of on the day of judgment. Maybe another one of these books would be a record of the fact that you didn't live up to your own standards. This is for the person that says, well, I don't need organized religion. I live by my own rules, my own values. I suggest to you, you don't even live by your own rules. I suggest you even break those.
Catch Greg Laurie's teaching show, A New Beginning, on our sister station, KNKT, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. on 107.1 FM. This is Star 88 at 88.3 FM, KLYT, Albuquerque, Santa Fe, and online at star88.fm.
Time to get out of bed. Time to get out of bed now. Wake up, wake up, wake up now.
The Morning Invasion with Dex and Steve-O.
Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Hello?
Who's this?
Who's this?
Oh my gosh. Is this Jimmy?
I got a message. Somebody wanted to fight.
Is this Jimmy?
On a voicemail.
Jimmy!
Yeah, this is... What? What?
What are you doing? It's been years. Are you kidding me?
Who is this?
This is Buck and Dex.
Okay, well...
Oh, Joseph and Aaron.
That's right. Steve-O's in here too,
Steve-O's
Jimmy.
in here too. It's his show as well. Yeah,
what are you
Buck's not
doing?
yeah.
Jimmy.
Who's Steeple?
Steeple.
His name's Steve-O.
Well, you know, it's like you put your hands together and it's like, here's a church, here's the steeple. So it's the pointer fingers.
Are you saying Debo?
Yes.
Yep.
Debo.
Tebow.
You got to whip it. You whip it good.
What's up, Debo?
How you doing, man?
Good. Just got through going number 2.
Okay, Jimmy. All right. Can we maybe tone it down a little bit? We're a different station now. We're not on the edge anymore.
Yeah.
So if you could...
Well, I think everybody does that, don't they?
Well, it's true, but we don't talk about it.
Well, yes, they talk about it.
Yes, they do it. Thank you, Jimmy.
They do it.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Jimmy,
so I forgot to tell you something.
You said do. Like
what's that, Jimmy?
Okay.
Good morning.
Don't throw up. Calm down.
He throws up a lot.
Calm down. Hey,
I got a little dehydrated there.
What are you up to these days? What's new?
I've been trying to write a children's book.
Really?
Wow.
What kind of children's book?
I don't know yet.
Okay. What's your favorite children's book?
Bernstein Bears?
Bernstein Bears. I always call it the Berenstein Bears, but
Well, that's because you're stupid.
well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Hey, Jimmy,
was that Devo? Was that Devo?
No, that was
actually
Devo.
Joseph.
No, that was
Joseph.
Devo. Devo said that.
Hey, Jimmy,
Oh.
have you seen the Peter
What?
Rabbit? Have you seen the Peter Rabbit movie?
No.
Oh, you should probably go see it. It's pretty entertaining.
Is that the one where the sky's falling?
No, that's Chicken Little.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it then.
Jimmy, are you still in a wheelchair?
Pretty much, but I got metal legs like in the Vikings TV show.
Really?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So do you crawl around on the ground a lot?
Nope, this is okay. We got a good thing. We're up against the break.
I got elbow pads.
Oh, good. Good. I'm glad. Jimmy, man.
Who is this again?
It's Buck and Dex and Steve-O.
Devo?
Yes, Debo.
Oh, Aaron and Joseph.
Aaron and Joseph. That's
Yep.
right.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
It's been
my
years.
memory's been fluctuating.
So you learned a new word. That's very nice.
Yeah, pretty much my wheelchair's fluctuating. I'm trying to get my driver's license.
Oh.
Fluctuating.
Wow.
Oh, that's in fluctuation?
Yeah.
It's in.
I drive a Fiat.
You drive a Fiat.
Yeah, I drive a Fiat.
The little.
It doesn't move yet.
All right. Well, I'm glad
They
you got a
won't give
Fiat.
me my car keys. I'm gonna drive.
I thought he just said he lost his legs, so he doesn't have any Fiat.
No, he doesn't. He has legs. He just said he has
I
metal
have
legs,
legs,
like in the Viking
stupid.
show.
Okay.
He doesn't watch
They're metal
Vikings.
legs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jimmy,
Okay.
you got to call in more. I miss you.
Oh, okay.
Why?
Why are you opening this floodgate?
Because we've been friends for a long time.
Yeah. Big part of
Not really.
our success.
No, we have for like almost 20 years.
Which one of you guys left a voicemail saying you want to fight?
No.
That was Debo.
I'll break your face.
Hey Jimmy, you take care, buddy. We love you. We miss you.
Well, I would miss you if I remembered you guys.
Okay, well, all right.
Take care, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, Jimmy.
Stay tuned for my children's book.
Okay, we will. Bye, Jimmy.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Oh, my God.
Jimmy!
That was the greatest gift.
Seriously,
of
this
all.
has been like a reunion today.
Man.
The Morning Invasion with Dex and Steve-O on Star 88.
Maybe I'm backing down, maybe I'm turning around, but
just wanted to say that I love Star 88 in the Morning Invasion, and you guys are like coffee. You're my morning pick-me-up.
Aw, that was really
Like a cup of Joe. Because Dex's real name is Joe.
Don't tell people that.
His name's Joseph. Yeah, it's Joseph.
Yeah.
So you should use that, the morning cup of Joe.
Yeah, literally.
I can't change my name.
But
well, the morning cup of Steve.
Yeah, see,
No.
either way, it's bad because HR told me I couldn't cup of Joe anymore. So,
Oh, yeah, I get. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
The caffeine thing and.
yeah.
Can you do the promo one more time, but just have a little more energy?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. I love Star 88 in the Morning Invasion. They're like my morning pick-me-up, like a cup of coffee. Oh, I totally messed that
Yeah,
one all up.
let's take it from the top, all right? One more time. Take 3, go
Wait,
ahead.
I need some
Yep.
line cards or something. I need to write it down.
Well, just, okay, you ready? Ready?
No,
here?
do you want some water? Do you have water?
I have coffee.
Okay, I mean, there's only like 5 words, so you should be able to handle this. All right, let's take it from the top. Lots of energy. Here we go. And take 3.
Star 88 in the Morning Invasion is like a cup of coffee. The morning pick-me-up. Woo!
Yeah!
I like that.
That was
a
good.
good one.
That was
I like
a good
that.
one.
Woo! At the end.
Gosh. I apologize for him. He's the worst.
Can you give me a bigger wee? Like not a woo, like a wee.
Like a woo!
Yes.
You want a nasal
Yeah,
ear?
let's take it from the top. Take it from the top. Here we go. Take 4.
All right. Star 88 in the Morning Invasion is like a cup of coffee. My morning pick-me-up. Woo!
She nailed that. You nailed that. Buddy. Dex and Stevo live from the Dreamstar Remodeling Star 88 Studios. Thanks for joining us. TMI being brought to you by Press and Hart. Screen printing, live printing, graphic design, pressandhart.com. Check out our TMI t-shirts. I'm wearing a Scotty's Pond Hive t-shirt if you want to go and check it out at YouTube or Facebook. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel, Star 88 FM, and Facebook. We're live right now at Star 88 FM. Coming up, Brian Nixon will be joining us a little later on in the hour. Doesn't mean we're not going to get as much time with him, but we just had to push him back a little bit. 3 degrees is happening right around 7:30-ish, maybe. You know, in fact, we don't really know because James is running a little late. That's right, everybody. You know him as James from Big Time Rush. Also, James Maslow, who has this hit.
One fight became a war. You don't.
That's all you get, James. That's all you get, man. We'll see how the interview goes. He was on Celebrity Big Brother. That's why I booked the interview, and come to find out he's not even really calling in for that, but that's all right. I'm going to just ask him questions about it. I don't even care. It's all my questions.
Okay.
Don't even care. So he's calling in here in a little bit. 585 Live, you can text into the show. You can also call in at 505-338-3700. Shock Therapy Live coming up at 9. Better send Steven a little text. Make sure he's coming in. We didn't remind him.
He knows. He better know. He better know.
He better. So last Shock Therapy Live with Steven was incredible.
Yeah.
Remarkable. It was really good. So I hope he's going to be in. So get your questions ready. If you have questions for Shock Therapy Live for Steven, if you're struggling with something in your life, you need some good biblical wisdom, hit us up. You can text those in 505-585-LIVE. All right, let's talk about more news since we're waiting. Sorry, James was supposed to call us, but he's running late. Just do news until he calls.
By the way, James was James the Beaver.
Don't
in
judge him.
The Penguins in Madagascar.
Of course he was.
We need to talk about that.
No, don't you waste my interview time with stupid questions.
Okay. Earlier we were talking about baby Groot not being grown-up Groot, and everybody cried. It was tragic and sad. Here's the thing. Apparently, it's good that we talked about it because it was prepping us for real life. where you can do something like this.
Is this real life?
It is. If you missed it earlier, James Gunn tweeted out that the original Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 actually did in fact die, and then that twig that they took and stuck in the ground and grew a baby Groot is his child. No! Not him, because it's impossible to regrow a tree from a stem and it be the same tree. It's a younger, newer tree. Anyways.
Everything that I thought was real is a lie.
Oh, just wait. It gets worse. Remember that one time we went over and visited Barbara and we were petting her dog?
Barbara
and it was
Walters?
No, Streisand, bro. Come on.
Well, Barbara and I.
Wawa, no, dude.
Mrs. Walters is a sweet lady.
Okay, that's why I said Barbara and not Mrs. Walters. Clearly, we call her Mrs. Walters. We're talking Streisand, dog. And speaking of dog, her dog, remember her dog? Really sweet dog.
Oh, it was so cute.
So cute. I was like,
Wasn't it
man,
like a
I hope
Chihuahua?
this dog lives forever because I'll be really, really sad if it ever dies. Don't worry. She's got it covered. We all know how hard it is when you lose a pet. Seriously. It's tragic. I lost my dog, and I think I went into like hibernation for a month.
Yeah. It's like losing a loved one, man. Well, it is.
But here's the question. If you lose your animal, and you had an opportunity from a crazy scientist to clone said animal.
Oh, no.
Would you do it?
No, I would not.
I've seen Pet Sematary.
Don't tell me this is what she did.
And it goes really awry when they stick that cat, Church, by the way, name of the cat, in the ground. And that thing rises up. Mean. Well, Barbara Streisand has done this. Because Barbara Streisand. In an interview with Variety, she talked about how her beloved 14-year-old dog Samantha died back in November, but before she passed, Barbara had some cells extracted from her mouth and stomach, and that genetic material was used to create not one, but 2 Samantha clones.
Barbara, we're not friends anymore.
She named them Miss Violet and Miss Scarlet. So far, it's unclear if they've come back Pet Sematary style.
You know what's terrible about this? There's so many dogs right now that need homes.
Right.
There are so many dogs that need to be adopted.
Instead, she spent like $500,000.
Oh my gosh.
Cloning her
I am
dog.
not a fan anymore, Barbara Streisand. We are going to have a talk.
She said they have different personalities. I'm waiting for them to get a little older so I can see if they have her brown eyes and seriousness.
Oh my gosh.
She also has another dog that's a distant cousin of Samantha's. So this dog, seriously, must have been really, really, really special. She cloned her dog, people.
That makes me angry. And she spent all that money. Guys, go adopt a dog.
I don't even know how to feel. Ugh.
Let me rephrase that. If you're a responsible person, go adopt a dog. I just don't want anybody
Saying
adopting.
Streisand's not.
No, she's not. She shouldn't be allowed. Isn't that so? That's
I don't even
legal?
know how this is legal.
Yeah, is that legal? You can do that. She
Apparently
probably
you
went
can.
to another country and did it.
Maybe. She cloned her dog twice.
Is it the same dog?
Right.
Like same personality?
No, as we've seen in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Baby Groot is a jerk.
Yeah, but that's different. He's baby.
How's it different?
He's like a baby.
They're puppies. It's not like they cloned it full grown.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a baby.
Yeah, but
This
okay.
is weird, guys.
You love your dog not because of how they look, because of their personalities. So that's my question is if you clone your dog,
Remember
do you
this
still get
Starmie-
the same personality?
I don't know. I doubt it. I mean, I don't know. Remember the Starmie said these people have too much money.
Ugh. That makes me angry.
Felicia says this is what happens when you have tons of money and nothing to do with it. What a shame. I can't even. That's crazy to me. Could you imagine getting to a place in your life where you have so much money that you're literally just like, I miss my dog. I think I'm going to clone him twice.
Okay, but let's just say when you clone your dog, it's the exact same dog, personality and everything. I mean, it's identical to your dog that you love. Then I can kind of understand in a way, but still.
No way, bro.
If you got the money to do it.
Especially when you lose an animal in a tragic way like that. Dude, it's like you're devastated. And now you're looking at this thing that's like an identical replicate. I don't know, man. I don't even know.
Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, are you guys going to talk about the Barbara Streisand cloning with Pastor Brian today?
Would you like us to?
Yeah.
Do you think he might have some insight on cloning?
Whoa.
I'm hoping he does.
Okay.
I put a lot of faith in Brian. The smartest guy in the world.
I mean, I could just tell you to not to. What do you want us to talk about? Like whether or not the dog has a soul?
I don't know. I wanted to get his insight on there.
If it's okay to clone?
Is it? Oh no, that's like creepy and
Barbara
weird.
did.
No, because the scientists made an extra person. So like, I was wondering what implications does this have on, I have a friend that believes in evolution still. And,
okay.
I don't know. I just, you know what I mean? So I want to get his insight.
Are we talking micro or macro evolution? What do you mean by that?
I'm pretty sure this is macro evolution for sure. Do you think? You're growing
I loved micro machines when I was a kid, so I always stuck with micro.
We'll bring it up to him and just see. We'll see if he'll give us a few of his thoughts on it. All right.
Cool. Thanks, bud. You guys rock.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for calling, man. 505-338-3700 if you'd like to call in. I mean, yeah. Maybe he's read a few books on cloning.
He probably has, knowing BNix.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. All right. Moving on. Gosh, this makes me so crazy. A couple in Virginia who's been remodeling their home had to put everything on hold Monday when they found a World War II bazooka rocket in their wall.
Sweet.
No.
That's awesome. Are you kidding me?
That is not sweet.
Dude, get Scotty on the phone. Let's see how much we could get for that at the pawn shop.
This is insane. Fire officials said a World War II explosive device was found by a couple remodeling their Virginia home. Wow, dude. They found it inside a wall. On Monday night, they immediately called the Newport Fire Department. Firefighters and police responded to the home around 8:45 p.m. Battalion Chief Jerry Reed said they identified it as a World War II era M6 60 caliber bazooka anti-tank rocket.
That's awesome.
In their wall. Bomb squad crews determined it was safe to remove the device from the home. Officials said they placed it in a secure container for it to be transported, and it will be turned over to the military. That's kind of messed up.
Yeah, they don't get to keep it?
Right? It's like, how much is that worth?
I don't know.
A World War II anti-tank? That's dope.
I'm Googling it right now. An M6 60 caliber bazooka anti-tank rocket for sale.
Okay, you can't do that. Now you just put us on a watch list,
no.
bro. You just put us on a watch list. Why do you Google stupid things? I'll tell you one place you can't get it. Dick's Sporting Goods, am I right? Snap! Dick's Sporting Goods announced on Wednesday that it's going to stop selling assault-style rifles in all of their stores, a direct response to the February 14th high school shooting in Parkland, Florida. Quote, when we saw what happened in Parkland, we were so disturbed and upset. This, according to the CEO, Edward Stack. This leaves, seriously, there's only one major retailer now that will continue to sell semi-automatic assault-style rifles. Bass Pro Shops.
I'm so sorry I have to cut you off.
Okay,
I'm
fine.
so sorry.
That's fine.
Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, it's David Levin from Watch for the
Radio. It's been forever.
Did you miss me?
Yes.
Okay,
Dude.
well, I will talk to you later. In the meantime, I've got James Maslow
Don't
for
leave
you.
us.
All right,
Don't
we
leave
got
us,
James.
David.
We got James.
Hold on.
James from Big Time Rush.
You got James.
James.
Oh, man.
James, what are you doing, James?
I'm sipping on an espresso, talking to you from bed in Venice. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, my gosh. That sounds lovely.
What are the other guys doing in Big Time Rush?
Not bad.
What are the other guys doing?
Who cares? What do you mean? What are they doing?
They hanging out in the
Probably
house?
sleeping, those lazy bastards. I'm
Okay.
kidding. I have no idea right now. They're all working on their own stuff, you know.
Yeah, I hear you,
dude.
So, James, first off, got to say, huge fan of Big Time Rush. My youngest son grew up just watching Big Time Rush, singing you. James was his favorite. So he'd constantly be running around the house going.
Well, he's got good taste.
Yeah, he'd be just singing like you, and I hope he's listening right now because he actually probably doesn't even care anymore because he's a teenager now.
He's a teenager now, so he can't listen to our morning show because he's not allowed to like what his dad is doing. It's not cool anymore to like dad.
Yeah.
Well,
Fair enough, until Dad has awesome guests on. So
that's
right.
It's true.
So thank you. You're giving Dexter back his cred. So
I have a bunch of Big Brother questions for you, but first let's talk about your first solo album. You got a couple singles out. What are you talking about, man?
Yeah, just incredibly happy to be doing everything else. Basically starting all over again, but now with things that are just so personal to me. So the single "Fallings" out right now is one of the first times I've really allowed my influence from EDM, which I love, to kind of cross into my music. So I'm very proud of that. Hope people enjoy it. And I have a bunch more coming. From film, TV, and music, I'm still doing everything and just doing it all.
Dude, you really are. Like, you have already done it all. I'm like, okay, first of all, we share a birthday, so happy July 16th birthday, dog. That's cool.
Happy early birthday.
Yeah, bro. I love it. So, however, I'm looking at your career, and I'm going, dude, you have seriously already, like, Nickelodeon Big Time Rush, you were with Dancing with the Stars, Celebrity Big Brother, like, you got your solo project that released last year. I'm like, what are you going to do next?
I know what it is.
Okay.
The Bachelor.
No.
Tell me it's happening. Are you going to go on The Bachelor?
They may or may not have. I'll say allegedly asked me to do that at one point a few years ago, and I said, wasn't for me. I'm not sure that I want to take that step.
Yeah.
Yes, you do,
Yeah,
James.
as fun as it may sound to other people, doing the unscripted stuff, at times it's been a lot of fun. So happy I did dancing, very happy I did Big Brother, but my focus is still traditional film and TV and my own music. And yeah, I've been very lucky that a lot of projects have moved forward, but, we just want them all to be bigger and better. So working until I'm back in arenas with my own music and, on the big screen, which I already have a film coming out in the next month or two called Bachelor Lions, my first major release. So things are moving, man. Thank you for all the support.
Yeah, man.
All right, so Celebrity Big Brother just wrapped up. Marissa won, and the internet died a little because everybody wanted Ross to win. And when you look back, and you probably watched it all through now, do you regret giving your vote to Marissa?
No, because as she put it, she wasn't playing Big Brother, she was playing Celebrity Big Brother. And it's an entirely different game. In Big Brother, you can go and lie and backstab and cheat, and it's not only allowed, hell, I'd say it's encouraged, because nobody's ever going to find out until later. Then it's one of those, like, oh, you got me moments.
Yeah.
In this one, if you do it, everybody's going home and then realizing, why did I trust you for the past month when you did this, and this, you acted like this? They're going to come back and vote very much based on emotion as well as the game. And beyond that, for him to take credit for winning 2 HOHs when I gave him the first one, and then I'm thinking it was Mark, made a deal with him for the second one. The irony is everybody wanted me to be the cocky one going into that show. Even, Brandy, whomever, just made up a lot of stuff that wasn't true. Could have been, very much wasn't, but then for him to act like that at the end, that's why he lost it. So anybody who's fighting against that, just realize he's playing a different game. It's not your traditional Big Brother. And you go and act like that and piss off a lot of people that you're pretending to be friends with, even though it is still very much a game, they're going to change their vote based on it. So Marissa, having played the game with no blood in her hands, honestly, the smarter move.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Which house was harder to live in, the Big Time Rush house or the Big Brother house?
Okay.
Well, thank God we never had to actually live in a house together. We would have probably actually killed each other, whereas we're all still friends to this day because of it. So I'm going to go with the Big Brother house.
Okay, all right. I kind of wish you would have played along, but whatever, James. It's cool. It's cool.
He's in bed in Venice, bro. He doesn't have time for your stupid questions.
Would there have been a possible showmance with Shannon, maybe?
No. Look, I'm actually dating somebody fantastic right now, but I'll put it this way. She looks a lot like Ari, so that's all I'm going to say.
Incredible.
I know you and Chuck Liddell were friends before you guys got in the house, but I loved watching Chuck Liddell. He's one of my favorite fighters.
Huge UFC fans out here in Albuquerque.
And he was so fun to watch because he just looks so mad all the time and so angry, but he really is the sweetest guy.
Well, that was kind of an ongoing joke, but it's a sincere thing. If you can make Chuck Liddell laugh, I mean, that was a feat in and of itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's got two emotions, either absolutely looking pissed off or just the funniest, happiest big kid in the world. And I made him just genuinely laugh with a couple stories before he left the house, and it makes everybody's day. You know, Chuck's a great guy. It is funny, that face. It's one of two emotions. Either just looks like he wants to kill you, or the biggest grin in the world is on the floor laughing, you know? But it takes a lot to get him there, but it's worth it. He's funny as all hell.
Good.
There you go.
Well, James, I appreciate you being on the show to talk about what you got going on. You got your new single out, and thanks for talking Big Brother with us. I hope you decide to be on The Bachelor. I think that'd be great for your career.
He's just said he's dating, dude.
No.
You don't run.
Dump her, man. Dump her now.
Is like the
Dump her.
downfall of humanity.
Dump
so,
her.
James, I'm with you, bro. I'm glad you're not going that route. It's ridiculous, and so you just keep on rocking and making good music. There you go.
Most suggestions under advisement, guys.
There you go.
I really appreciate
Thanks,
having you
man.
on the show.
All right, man. Have a great day.
Hey, James, can you say hi to Landon real quick?
Okay.
Landon, what's going on?
Right on. Thanks, man. Appreciate you, dude.
My pleasure.
Later.
Have a good one.
You were an
Okay, that was
idiot.
stupid. That was
God, that was the worst.
Sorry, Besta guys. I'm sorry. I had to dump him 10 times.
Hey there, Nizzle.
Hey guys, what'd you guys get in trouble?
Oh God, we
What
didn't get
happened?
in trouble. This dumb over here booked James Maslow
You
from
have no room to talk.
Celebrity Big Brother, and
Yeah.
really, how many of my guests have we ever had to dump 17
Really?
times?
I'm pretty sure.
Hey, back up,
You
guys.
don't want me to go back
Hey
to
guys,
that.
can you back up?
Yeah.
I don't know what Celebrity Big Brother is.
Thank you.
Of course. You don't watch TV.
Well,
Okay.
I
read.
I do. I watch. Let me just clarify for people. I do watch TV.
You watch The Bachelor?
I watch PBS and I watch
The Bachelor.
sports.
Oh. Don't talk to me then, Brian.
Yeah.
Okay.
PBS and sports. Well, and I watch local news. And so but you know, PBS is kind of my escape. I'll escape with PBS, but usually I watch sports.
Good.
Is that wrong, guys? Is that
No,
it's not wrong
No,
at all.
not wrong
No.
at all.
It's fine.
Not wrong at all.
Okay, just making
What
sure.
was wrong was that.
Just because you don't watch Big Brother.
out in my bed in Venice, drinking my espresso.
Don't judge him.
Oh, judged.
So help me. Who is he?
He was on a very successful boy band Nickelodeon show.
Oh.
Yes. He was on Dancing with the Stars.
So
and
You know what? I would kill for an interview with Alanis Morissette, and she was on on Nickelodeon as well. She also had a successful career.
Wait, Alanis Morissette was on Nickelodeon?
You can't do that on television. Thank you very much.
Really?
true.
Yeah.
That is
Remember
crazy.
that show? And you
I
said,
didn't
what was
know
the
that.
word that you said and you got slimed?
Did
I
they have
don't know.
I don't know.
Really?
Yep.
The only thing I remember about Nickelodeon, because my kids, they watched Rugrats. That's what I remember
Yeah,
about Nickelodeon.
that's a great
I
show.
didn't know that they had like TV shows.
Oh, yeah. It's all just like teen drama shows
Hmm.
now, like with boy bands and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Remember, I watched Masterpiece Mystery
Oh,
on
Masterpiece.
PBS. That's what I watched
I
on
was just thinking of
PBS.
Masterpiece Theater.
Well, that is it. It's basically Masterpiece Mystery
Okay.
is Masterpiece Theater, but then they do the mysteries. I'm a mystery junkie.
Yeah.
I kind of like my mysteries.
Are you into cloning?
Like Dolly sheep cloning?
Like dogs.
Like cloning dogs?
Yeah.
Well, I think scientifically, obviously, we know it can happen. We did it with Dolly the sheep, and there's other examples.
Barbara Streisand
around.
just did it with her dog.
Well,
This is what a listener wanted us to talk
yeah,
about.
yeah. The reality is there's some major ethical issues with this, and some probably scientific areas that have not been researched fully from the standpoint that it's not like we're cloning people and everything every day, but there are some things we really do have to investigate in regard to cloning, and I'm willing to unpack that after we talk about our history lesson.
Yeah, I want to talk. I would rather do 3 degrees because, man, oh man.
That's right, everybody.
I just need some brain cells after that last bit. Am I right? Okay, punch.
All right. 3 degrees, not to New Mexico because Dex and Steve-O made the announcement. We're no longer 3 degrees to New Mexico.
Yep, we don't care about our state
We're
anymore.
just We're just 3 degrees now. 3 degrees, and I guess you could take that symbolically, like we're heating up your intellect by 3 degrees.
Yeah.
But what are we connecting this time?
Well, we're actually on this day, guys. We've expanded beyond our borders. I'm going broad to national historical events of importance.
Okay.
So we're talking about our country here now.
Okay.
So on this day, you guys ready for this? These
I'm
are
ready,
these are
yeah.
important. In 1780, on this day, Pennsylvania was the first state to legally abolish slavery.
Wow.
1780.
1780?
This day. And here's the cool thing about that. Why Pennsylvania? Well, because Pennsylvania, first of all, had a very strong Christian voice. William Penn, when he came over and was given that land by a charter from the King of England, he established it as the city of brotherly love. He wanted it to be a place where not just one denomination of Christians, but all Christians could come and work together, and what he felt was creating this city on the hill. So William Penn, who was Quaker himself. But what happened
Love their oats.
is a lot of individuals from Europe, dissidents, kind of outcasts from different religious groups, were coming to the Pennsylvania area. And a lot of them were very pacifistic, meaning they didn't believe in war. They were really just about, adhering to the gospel.
They're like you.
Yeah. So you had the Quakers, you had the Mennonites, you had the Brethren, and then you had later what we do call now the Amish. And all of these groups were coming to Pennsylvania. And so it made sense that this dominated group, was really kind of anti-anything slavery.
Right.
Anti-anything. Hey, if you're going to treat another human being wrong, let alone your animal. By the way, the same group that was anti-slavery are kind of a lot of the groups that are very pro-environment as well.
Wow.
Because they would say, the Lord didn't make mistakes when he made creation, be it a person or an animal.
Can I jump in here and play devil's advocate for a second?
Yes.
Does anybody else find it interesting that in the late 1700s, it was Christians that were on the forefront of like social, I don't want to say the social gospel because then people will freak out. But it seems like fast forward to 2018.
Right. We're fall behind.
Yeah, we're way behind. And it seems like we're not even in the arena to have these conversations. I will say, however, the church has done an amazing job of shedding light on human trafficking.
Sure, unquestionably.
So I don't want to trash everything. But it just seems like in a lot of areas, we're shy to talk about big important things happening within culture.
You're right.
Because it's like, we're in the world, we're not of the world, so it doesn't matter what happens in this.
But
in this
here's
life.
the reality. Historically, Christianity has always believed in what we would call the 2 books of the faith. You have the book of the Bible, which talks about the plan of salvation, but then you have the book of nature. And so in the beginning, God created. And even before the fall, you have to understand, Genesis 1, God created, and it was good, and it was good, and it was very good.
Yeah.
Creation is still good. God, sure, it is scarred, it is marred with sin.
Yeah, Captain Planet would say otherwise.
Yeah,
like, you got to protect that planet.
Exactly. So we do have to protect it as a gift from God. We are called to be good stewards of creation. And what's interesting, going back to, the whole point with 1780 and the first state to abolish slavery on this day, is that these Christians understood that. They understood that God didn't make a mistake either with a human being and or animals or in his creation. Ultimately, we have, the image. People are still made in the image of God. Dex.
Can I pick up the Book of Nature at Solomon's Porch?
Yes. Yeah, be heavy because it's called the universe. I mean, you could try.
You just missed that one.
Yeah, but the Book of Nature, there is, as a matter of fact, there is a book in Solomon's Porch that just came out.
Or Parchments, the bookstore, not the coffee shop.
That's right, Parchments. It's called Creation Care, and it's by Moo, M-O-O, and his son. These are legitimate theologians And
They're
wrote
like, don't eat meat. They're real cows.
No, I don't know if they're vegetarians. I haven't
No, there's a moo
reviewed the
joke
book.
in there. There's a moo.
I see.
Sorry, we can
I see.
move on.
Wow,
my bad.
Really, James?
Yeah,
I get
I'm
it.
sorry.
I
Really
get it
got-
now. But Steve, a good observation, because really somehow, particularly in the evangelical church, and again, we're all part of the evangelical church, so I'm not here to bash the evangelical church.
Not at all.
But we lost sense of the broader ramifications of the biblical teaching. You know, it's almost like we just, focused on, 4 books of the Bible. And one of the beauties of biblical Christianity is we actually believe from Genesis 1 to Revelation, 22. And so it's from Genesis to Revelation, and you get the full scope of the biblical witness. And we are called to be good, stewards, which leads me to my next point. You guys ready for this?
I don't know.
So 1780, we had, wow, that was short-lived. Actually.
I just like that. It gives it a little
1780, Pennsylvania was the first state to outlaw or abolish slavery. Well, in 1872, get this, and this is cool. This is the tie-in. Yellowstone was the world's not just
first park?
National park.
Thank you.
So here it is, guys. So look at.
That was an easy guess.
But here, did you notice what I said though? Worlds.
Yeah.
The world's first park.
Not United States.
Yeah.
This is, what others have deemed America's great idea was the national park. That at least America has gotten, we've gotten a lot of things right, but we got this thing right.
Yeah.
We need to protect
And preserve.
preserve parts of our country, because there are, I don't know if you guys have noticed, there are a lot of people who are greedy in the world.
Yeah.
And they just want money, and they want material things, and they want to benefit it personally. So America stepped up and said, no, there are some areas in our beautiful country you can't have. You can't drill, you can't destroy, you can't chop down the trees.
New Mexico does a good job with that.
We do. But what's cool is not only is this a United States thing, but we set the precedent
for the world.
For the world.
For the universe,
so,
really.
So Yellowstone is the first national park in the world that was initiated on this day.
Wow.
In 1872.
You guys can interview me if you want. I lived about an hour away from West Yellowstone National Park.
I've never been.
Old Faithful and our old friends.
I didn't understand what the big draw was then.
Yellowstone's beautiful.
You don't know what the big draw is. You can go pet buffalo and grizzly bears.
Yeah.
Would you really want to do that though?
No,
I thought they ate their young if you touch them.
And they actually, Yellowstone now, back in the day, you could feed, but now they discourage you from
because people get
feeding
mauled.
them. Yeah, people get mauled.
Yeah,
By bears?
Well,
Yeah, sure.
buffalo usually. 'Cause
Moose,
people get
anything.
out and they take their kids over and put the kids on the buffalo, and they end up getting killed or mauled.
Oh,
it's terrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry. Go back to the part where you want me to visit this place.
You just got to stay in the car.
Yeah. You just
don't leave your car.
Yeah, you just roll down your window this much when they walk up to it, and you.
Have you been?
I've been.
Old Faithful.
So
You
yes.
checked it out?
So here's the thing: when
that the
I was
geyser?
when I was growing up, we weren't like a Disneyland family. We weren't, we didn't go to all that type of stuff. My mom put us in the station wagon, which had the wooden side panels.
Heck yeah, bro.
yes.
And
Did
we-
the back seat look backwards
Oh, yeah,
to where
totally.
you sat? Yeah, I
Totally.
loved- Oh man, I missed those.
My
days.
mom and dad would put us in that, and we would drive to all the national parks in the Western Hemisphere.
This is why you're such a hippie.
So my parents, so we went to them all. So, it wasn't like, hey, we're going to Disneyland, kids. And by the way, to this day, I'm not a fan of Disneyland.
What?
Yeah, I'm
That's for
not.
little
Okay,
kids.
well, you lost me there.
No, I'm not.
I'm with you,
I'm
bro.
not.
I love it.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of
Give me
people
Six
that love-
Flags.
Probably because when you were a kid, that's what was valued. And like, hey, kids, we're gonna go to Disneyland.
We only went once.
For us, it was, hey, kids, we're going to Yellowstone. And we would get all excited. Okay. We would buy the T-shirts. We would get souvenirs from all the national parks.
Heck yeah.
So it was great. And I remember going to Moab as a kid to see all the dinosaur stuff. I mean, we just went national park crazy. So yes, I've been
Did you go to Glacier National Park?
Well,
Paul just chimed in and said Yellowstone's legit, but I think Glacier's better.
Glacier's beautiful. Now, here's the thing with Glacier. We didn't actually drive. So to answer your question, yes, we went by it, but time-wise, we didn't have the same amount of time as we gave to
that's
to
God's
Yellowstone.
country right there,
It
man.
is.
Okay.
It really is. So isn't that cool that on this day, America got two things right?
Yeah.
We abolished slavery in one state that set the tone and initiated by Christians.
Crazy that it was in the 1700s.
1780s, and initiated by Christians. And then secondly, we made the first world's national park. Thank you very much, America.
It's so funny because that lends to, like, you know, it's like, I'd rather be known for what I'm for than what I'm against. But that was pretty good that they were against slavery.
Yeah.
They did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, of course, Christians are known for being against certain things. And there are some that that we blast that maybe we could have a conversation about. But I still think we're correct in a lot of regard. Did you see Mike Pence just said he believes that we're going to abolish abortion within the next X amount of years? And
No,
was
I didn't hear. I didn't hear that.
It was a big deal on the news yesterday.
That is a big deal because, as we know, I don't. Well, I do understand how people make a case for abortion because they're basically saying they're not living entities. They don't have personhood.
Yeah.
Right.
But that is a really an unscientifically. The reality is they have the same amount of chromosomes. They have a DNA makeup at conception, and so they would account for humans.
Yeah.
But again, that's just kind of the brainwashing that happens.
Yeah,
on,
Vice
on the
President
flip side.
Mike Pence predicted Tuesday that legal abortion would end in the United States in our time.
Wow.
That's what he said.
Wow.
I know in my heart of hearts, this will be the generation that restores life in America. He was at a luncheon in Nashville hosted by the Susan B. Anthony List and Life Institute, which is an anti-abortion organization. He said, if all of us do all we can once again, in our time, restore the sanctity of life to the center of American law.
Well, God bless Pence. And I pray that is the case, but he has an uphill battle because there is a lot of folks out there who would not only disagree, but vehemently disagree with those statements and fight tooth and nail against that. But wouldn't it be beautiful if we got back to a consistent life ethic?
Yeah.
Meaning, not only should we preserve and help the whales and polar bears, which, by the way, we should, but we should also help human beings, especially those within the womb.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what a consistent life ethic is. And Christians historically have had a Christian life ethic. Both humans and all of creation are important. Therefore, we should be preserving and good stewards of it all.
Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Hello there. How you guys doing today?
Great.
I was calling in because one of your comments, Mr. Nixon, was stirred a question up in my mind. I wonder, when it comes to creation and nature and everything like that, what are your thoughts on the water canopy theory?
Okay, let me explain for our listening audience. The water canopy theory, it holds, and by the way, this was primarily started by Henry Morris, who I had the privilege of meeting before he died and had some time with him. But the water canopy theory holds that there was a canopy that covered planet Earth that basically blocked out the sun rays, so the radiation wasn't as prevalent at the time of creation, and it kept Earth kind of like in a very garden-like state. So it was, akin to like this perfect garden without the sun. And then after the fall, you had that water basically fell down, and then you had water coming up from the earth, and it created the polar ice caps and everything else that we know today. Here's my thought. On the surface, it sounds okay, but honestly, there's a lot of science wrong with the theory. There's components of it that I would disagree with. So I don't want to get into all of that right now, just because it's one of those things that we would lose our audience. But I thought the theory was interesting, but again, there's some scientific problems with it.
You're not going to sign off on it?
I'm not going to sign off on it.
Right on. Well, thank you, Brian. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thanks, man.
But let me also say, there's a lot of people I respect, scientists. Henry Morris being one. I mean, he was a scientist, and I respected him. And as I mentioned, I've met him. wonderful human being, wonderful legacy on so many levels. I just don't know if the canopy theory holds water under deeper scrutiny.
Beautiful. Hey, if you guys want to call in, Brian Nixon's hanging out with us. 505-338-3700.
Did we ever get to the fact that Barbara Streisand cloned her dogs, and what are the ethics behind that?
No, we're supposed to get to that because that was how you led this time.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's
this is real. Her dog of 14 years died, and she took cells from its mouth and its stomach.
Yep.
And they used that genetic material to create not one but two clones that she now has, Miss Violet and Miss Scarlet.
Yeah. So what we've learned from Dolly, if you guys remember, Dolly several years back was the sheep that was the first cloned sheep. And a lot more scientific study needs to go into the whole process of cloning. But I do know what they have found with Dolly is that Dolly, in some areas, had exasperated health problems. I think in the case of Dolly, I would have to go back and look at this. She may have had exasperated arthritis and some other issues. So just from an ethical standpoint, should you clone something that may, again, I just use the word may have the propensity for exasperated health issues. So you wouldn't want to clone a living being and then they have a higher risk of you fill in the blank. This disease, this disease, this disease, this disease.
But I mean, we're all, thanks to the fall of man, like
we all so
that
susceptible
means,
to that.
So that means
exactly.
like no cloning ever because we're all
no.
I mean,
Then
we're
it's
all
not a
gonna
true
die.
clone, but it's not a true clone then.
Well, and then you
wait, what?
If it was a true clone, then it would be the exact replica without all of the health issues.
But again, I guess what we're saying is that that there's a lot more study and research that needs to follow these animals that have been cloned. That said, there are other ethical, components into this, particularly if it reaches to humanity.
Yeah.
And there are rumors.
They've done it.
Oh, yeah. There are rumors that other countries, other scientists have already cloned human beings.
The Russians?
Now, theoretically, it's supposed to be banned. The United Nations says we should not do this.
That's why Norway won all the golds this
They're
year.
all clones. They're all clones.
clones.
They're athletic clones.
But what it leads to, guys, is it opens up doors for a lot of frightening scenarios.
Yeah.
Because if you could...
I saw Pet Cemetery.
I saw Multiplicity.
Okay.
Well, yeah, kind of.
So as long as they don't copy the copy, they're good. Because it was good until they copied the copy.
Yeah, it got real bad.
It got real bad.
So it's not just that you clone, it's that once you understand how to clone humans and genetic engineering comes on, what's to say you're not going to do... Basically, going back to Pence's comment, you may not need abortion because you could genetically engineer anything you want to be this superhuman race. And what happens to say that technology doesn't get in the hands of a bad person? Because technology always gets in the hands of bad people.
Bad movie waiting to happen.
And the bad people take the engineering and they start doing things with cloning and genetic engineering that is not so nice.
Yeah.
And then you get Nazism on steroids.
Pretty much.
You get these scientists, and by the way, they were trying to do things like this under the SS regime. Hitler had a whole group of doctors and scientists working on building a superhuman race. And they were using Darwinian natural selection and such to do that. And they were trying to rid the world of anyone who didn't look Germanic or Anglo or whatever. And they were trying to, through natural selection, through Darwinian ideas, to establish a superhuman race. So the ethics of cloning are incredibly deep, meaning there needs to be some of the greatest thinkers, religious leaders, ethicists, philosophers dealing with this before we do this full-scale cloning. Now, is it possible? I think it probably is.
Yeah.
I mean, if we've done it with a sheep and we've done it with dogs and we've done it with cats and we've done all of that, that's proven. And probably somewhere along the line, someone's trying to do it with humans. But the ramifications are pretty drastic. But here's how I think it's going to happen, guys. Here's what I think is happening. And it could be happening before us. I think some country or some institution is doing it or plausibly thinking about doing it right now. They're doing it in secret. They're doing it, in the shadows, and they're following it from the inception through the whole process. And then what they're going to do is say, hey, listen, this is Susie or this is Johnny, and they are cloned individuals, and everything you guys thought was going to happen bad is not the case, and they'll use them as an example of why we should clone. But then the question is, well, why should we clone?
Yeah, why? Yeah, why?
I mean,
should we do it?
There is a natural process of cloning. It's called reproduction. Two individuals get together, and a man and a
birds and the bees, man.
Birds and the bees, and you don't clone yourself. You don't clone yourself specifically, but your DNA, your genes are passed along, and so to me, the whole idea of cloning seems to be a very self-centered existence. Like,
yeah, Barbara,
I was so stellar. I was so amazing. There should be another one of me to live on forever. But here's the point. That person is not you. That person, though it shares your DNA makeup, their life circumstances, the sociological, the psychological, everything else that makes up a human being is different from that person. So again, though we are our genes, we are our chromosomes, we are our DNA, that is the information that makes us who we are. You may have someone who looks like you, but that doesn't mean that person will be you, because you have a whole set of other life experiences that shape who you are.
Ethically, how do we treat clones? Do they have souls?
Well, of course clones would have souls, because they would be human beings. Now, what happens when machines start becoming artificial intelligence? That's where the other ethical questions come in, because there's already, with AI, there's already a whole host of people that want the same rights for artificial intelligence that human beings have. So meaning you couldn't kill an artificial being, you couldn't do all of this. So those wouldn't have souls, artificial intelligence, though we would treat them as such, but a human being would still have a soul because they're a human being.
Oh man, and then they start questioning reality and existence because they don't think they have souls because they're robots, and then they rise up against us.
And we laugh and we kind of poke fun of it, but that is a whole field of investigation in ethics, is artificial intelligence. And there is a whole movement within ethics that is saying that machines, artificial intelligence, should have the exact same rights as human beings.
This is like AI. Did you see AI?
I didn't see AI.
Oh my gosh, we're coming over and having a movie night.
Yeah, let's do it.
Can we watch AI together? Do you remember AI?
I don't remember it.
What? It had Jude Law. It had the Haley Joel Osment kid from Sixth Sense.
I don't think I watched that.
Yeah,
come on, man.
That would be cool. But the point is, guys, you're spot on. These are ethical issues that we have to confront, sooner than later.
Okay, but I'm serious. I want to have a movie night with
you.
Let's do it. Are you a talker through the film?
No.
I've seen Hostiles. I saw Hostiles.
No, I'm not a talker through the film. I actually like to watch the film and let the film, say what it's going to say.
Say what it needs to say, John Mayer.
Then we could analyze it afterwards.
Here's the thing, though, when you watch a movie with BNix, because you sit down and the movie starts, and then he pulls out his little notepad and puts his little reading glasses on, and he's taking notes throughout the film.
I do that.
He does. He really does. And then at the end of the film, it's like, what did you think? And I'm usually amped. Oh my gosh, this moment and that. And it's like, well, actually, if you go back to minute 1742, I'm not kidding. I
love it.
I want to start writing stuff down, because this is why he's got such a super brain.
Yeah.
He actually remembers things because he writes it down.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting.
Oh man.
It's pretty interesting. Any good questions before we go to break?
Yeah, somebody chimed in and said, so what you're saying is I should take my twin out to be the superior clone?
Ooh, and that is the other thing, is twins are a natural, again, probably not, DNA for DNA exact twins, even with identical twins, there could be some variations within your genetic code. But the point is, we do have clones out there. They're called identical twins.
There you go. We're going to watch AI and the entire season 1 of Westworld before next week, and we're going to have Brian Nixon review it.
All right.
No,
all right, guys. Hey, but bringing it full circle.
Yes.
Kudos to Pennsylvania, 1780 on this day.
Slavery is bad.
Abolishing slavery. And kudos to the United States of America for being the world's first
State Park
government
Hauser
that designated national parks.
Beautiful. Thank you, Brian Nixon.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you next week. We're live from the Dreamstar Remodeling Star 88 Studios. We'll be right back.
February 21st of 2018 must have been a date circled in red on heaven's calendar, because that was the day Billy Graham was ushered into his reward for being a faithful servant of Jesus Christ.
I don't claim to be going to heaven today because I have preached or because I'm a good man. I claim to be going to heaven only on the merit and the ground of Jesus.
Just As He Is, a tribute to Billy Graham, is hosted by Skip Heitzig and features interviews with the Graham family, Dr. James Dobson, Toby Mack, Kurt Warner, and many more who have been impacted by the amazing life of Billy Graham.
And every time you see a cross, it should remind you of what you mean to God. Jesus not only died for all, He died for each.
Listen to Just As He Is, a tribute to Billy Graham on this station.
Sunday, March 4th at 1 p.m. and March 11th at 8 a.m. on KNKT.
This is Star 88 at 88.3 FM, KLYT, Albuquerque, Santa Fe, and online at star88.fm.
Sorry, before Brian leaves us, he has a quick announcement to share with everyone.
Yeah, I thought it is definitely worth letting our audience know about a conference that is this Saturday. It's called Engage. And Engage is a conference that is going to be hosting Dr. Gary Habermas. And for those of you who don't know who Gary Habermas is, he's one of the leading experts on the historicity of the resurrection.
Okay.
And Gary Habermas will be in town. I believe he is going to be at Hoffmantown Church from 9 to 3 this Saturday, and it's free. So I would encourage you to go on the website, check it out, because Gary Habermas just this week, and this is huge news, Dex, he announced that they have dated what may be the earliest fragment of the Gospels.
Wow.
So
that's cool.
If Gary Habermas and his crew are correct, we may have the earliest fragment of the Gospel of Mark, and they're dating it right now. What they're saying is it could be as early as 80 AD.
Really?
And if that's the case, folks, this is big news for the Christian community. Very big news. So again, Gary Habermas, Dr. Gary Habermas, the leading expert on the historicity of the resurrection, will be here in Albuquerque this Saturday. And best of all, it is free.
It's free. Thanks, Brian.
It's free.
All right, we'll be right back.
It's the Morning Invasion with Dex and Steve-O.
Taking me some time to understand. Living in the past, not demand. So I'll run from it, I know I will. Maybe when you're drunk, you'll call me up. Talk about the girls you used to love.
Here's the story of a man named Dex who had a very famous edgy morning show. Then one day, this Dexter lost his job. He was all alone. Till one day when this Dexter met this fellow, and they knew that Steve-O was the one. And this duo would somehow form a show. The morning invasion became their show. Became their show.
Became their show.
Became their show.
Became their
The
show.
morning invasion became their show.
Oh, hi, everybody. We're live. Good morning. From the Dreamstar Remodeling Star 88 Studios. Dex and Steve-O. Hey, have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? YouTube.com/star88fm. Go subscribe, and you can be a part of the show there. You can comment. Wonderful community there on YouTube. Also, Facebook. Facebook.com/star88fm. You can go there and do the same. Be a part of a beautiful community of people.
Hey, Dex.
Hey, Brian.
Steve-O.
Yo.
Hey, so Steve-O and I are talking outside the door here, and he says, bro, that announcement you just made, we need to unpack that a little bit more.
Let's just unfold it.
Yeah, guys.
Because what you guys don't realize how important, particularly from a biblical standpoint, bibliology. So I was, just checking my the internet the other day, and Sean McDowell, who is friends of Calvary Albuquerque here, comes and speaks often. He posted that Gary Habermas made this announcement at a university in California. And of course, with any kind of announcement like that, you always have to have caution.
Talk about the announcement one more time for people that are just tuning in.
So the announcement, Gary Habermas announced that the team that has been studying this early fragment of the Gospel of Mark have possibly dated it to either between 80 to 100 AD. If this is the case, this would be the oldest fragment of a New Testament book.
Because so far, Dead Sea Scrolls, right? Are they?
Well, Dead Sea Scrolls would be Old Testament.
Oh, okay.
So, but here's why this is important. This,
What do I know? I was quizzing you.
This is why this is important, because if it is 80 AD, that means that people were either copying or writing the Gospel of Mark the generation of Jesus's disciples. So a lot of liberal scholars say, oh, no. Those Gospels were written way after Jesus ever, and therefore they got things wrong. There was problems and all this, so they try to diminish the impact of the Gospels. Well, with this announcement and with this discovery saying, hey, we may have in our possession the oldest fragment from the Gospel of Mark, and it could be as early as 80 AD, that is monumental news for students of the Bible. That's saying that within the lifetime of the disciples, this book, at least Mark, was being written and studied, which means that Papias, for those of you who don't know who he is, he was the first historian after Luke. So you would have Luke, he wrote about the church in the book of Acts. And then Papias wrote about things post-Luke. And Papias interviewed some of the early Christians. Yeah. Sadly, we don't have Papias's works. His works were destroyed. We only have copies or quotes from his book. And Papias is the one that said, hey, the Gospel of Mark is really Peter's gospel. That was Peter communicating it to John Mark, and John Mark wrote it down.
Yeah.
Well, if we could prove now, if this is the case that in 80 AD, we have something from it early, that stacks up to say, oh, yeah. Peter could have easily told this to John Mark, and then it was being floated around in the early church. So again, this is huge news. And the fact that Gary Habermas, the guy that made this announcement and is part of this study group, is here this Saturday, free, I think all the listening audience, man, I'd be calling the Engage conference right now saying...
I hit up our YouTube Live and our Facebook Live with the details and the link. It is free. Now, they're going to break for lunch, and you can rock their lunch, or you can bring your own lunch.
Right.
So it's up to you on that one. But yeah, it's totally free.
And here's the other cool thing, guys. It's not just Gary Habermas. You have some other leading biblical scholars at this conference. Now, they won't be there live. I think my understanding is Gary Habermas is the only one that is live in person. All the others are being piped in through Skype or whatever, however they do it this day. So they will be there, live, but not in person. Whereas Gary Habermas will be live and in person.
By the way, I just want to go all the way back to everyone who was just dumbfounded by the word historicity because they've never heard it before. It's actually in the English language.
Yes.
In the dictionary, it is a noun. It means historical authenticity.
That's right. Good, Steve-O.
I'm just saying because people got hung up on historicity. Like, wait, did he just say historicity?
Yeah, historicity. And this is, you guys have to understand, because, at the college level, I taught bibliology. And up until this point, we would say, well, some of the earliest fragments we have of books of the Bible would basically be from like 120 on the low end up to 250 on the high end. So a lot of scholars would say, well, the evidence just shows these were all written later and so on and so forth. So to have an announcement with the potentiality, again, we're not saying that it is 80 AD, but the potentiality or the possibility for a fragment from the Gospel of John to be as early as 80 AD, bro, that's like writing in the generation of the apostles. That is proof that these books were being written and circulated in the earliest part of the church.
Okay, we got a question for you. I'm like, do you have a minute to stick around?
Yes, I do.
It's totally on this subject, but completely switching gears.
Yes.
Are we allowed to do a Theology Thursday? It is Thursday, right?
Well, we're bringing it back.
Just one quick question, all right, guys?
Yes.
Okay? All right. Studio at star88.fm if you'd like to ask a question for Dr. Nixon over here. Hey, guys, I'm in the middle of a long debate with my mom, who's a devout Catholic, and I really wanted to pick BNix's brain about this. In Catholicism, which is how I was raised, the Bible has an additional 7 books that the Christian Bible does not have. My mom has challenged me to do research on this because she maintains that Protestants took the books out because they didn't fit in with their theology. However, the research I found indicates that in the original Hebrew Bible, there were 24 books, which are now split up into 39 books we know as the Old Testament, and that the 7 additional books were never included because of questions about apostolic authority. Also, it appears that the Catholics added them in at the Council of Trent, so it seems to me that rather than Protestants taking them away, Catholics actually just added them in. However, my mom maintains that these 7 books were always a part of the original Hebrew Bible, and I can't find evidence to this anywhere.
Yeah.
I always get frustrated when people challenge me about the historicity of the Bible because she said history, but I put in historicity.
That's very nice.
Of the Bible because I'm just not that mature in my knowledge yet, thus saying history instead of historicity. I'm just kidding. Okay. I've only been coming to Calvary for 3 years, save for 2, and I'm still learning, but I don't know how to talk to people when they come off as being condescending about my faith. It hurts me deeply because of the relationship that I have with the Lord. Maybe BNix can help me once and for all. I'd really like to become more educated on this. Thanks, Steph.
First of all, great question, and it's going to take us a moment. Do we have a moment to unpack it?
We got a moment.
And let me just say that what I appreciate
I want to
about
go on
this
vacation with you and watch you actually unpack.
Yeah, what I appreciate about this question, is that they're serious. They really want to know answers. And I do sense, a little bit of frustration of, wow, I'm trying to make sense of this. I don't understand that. That said, I empathize with where you're at. But here's the reality is both you in your research and your mom are actually kind of right. And so this is one of those areas that is a little bit gray. Now,
like Grey's Anatomy.
Stop it.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of.
One's
But
McTeam,
let
one's
me see if I could unpack it a little bit more for you. So the whole edition of the Apocrypha is what you're referring to. You're referring to those extra books that we have called the Apocrypha. We're not in dispute just with the Protestants. They go back to Jerome. So Saint Jerome, who lived roughly in the 200s into the 300s, Saint Jerome, who translated the Bible into Latin that we call the Vulgate, which is the official translation of the Roman Catholic Church. By the way, in the early Middle Ages, that's all there was. There was just the Roman Catholic Church. It wasn't until 1054 that you had the Eastern Orthodox and so on and so forth. So there was just one church, and it was the Roman Catholic Church or Orthodox Church. So Jerome, when he was working on the translations into Latin of the books of the Bible, he went to Bethlehem. And he was working with a consortium of both Christian and Jewish people to understand these books. By Jerome's time, we had the 27 books of the New Testament already set. So he basically knew which books to translate, though there was even some controversy about which to include and not to include at the time of Jerome. So the New Testament was, for the most part, we'll say 95% finished in order for him to translate into Latin. It was the Old Testament, however, that was giving him some problems. And so he was working with a larger, broader base of people, and some of them were Jewish, as to what books should be binding. And Jerome himself, with a consortium of people, said, you know what? The Old Testament, as we understand it, are the binding books that should be part of the canon. These are the books that the Jewish people understand to be binding, meaning they are the word of the Lord.
Yes.
And these other books, which we now call the Apocrypha, are not as binding. They add light, they shed light onto historical events, they shed light into some intertestamental areas, but they are not as binding. So what Jerome did is Jerome took these books and put them at the end of the Bible. So he translated the Old Testament, and then he translated the New Testament, and then based upon his research with other people, he put these other books, what we now call the Apocrypha, at the end of the Bible. And they stayed as part of canon all through the Middle Ages. So both Orthodox and Roman Catholic, after the split, would understand that you had the Old Testament, you had the New Testament, and then you had Apocrypha books. So fast forward now to when Erasmus and Luther, they were two contemporaries. So Erasmus and Luther, of course, were both Roman Catholic. Luther obviously left the Roman Catholic Church. Erasmus stayed in the Roman Catholic Church, and he started to translate the Bible into a more modern idiom in what we now call the Textus Receptus. And he was using certain books. Well, Erasmus kind of agreed with Jerome, from 800 years earlier. He said, yeah, Jerome has it right. These books, they need to just be designated as a separate entity, but still we need to translate them. Luther kind of followed suit. He said, yeah, these books were already dealt with in the early church, that they're not as binding. They add some cool history. They give us some greater insight.
So they're like the prequels in the Star Wars trilogies.
They fill in the gap.
They kind of have some cool moments. They've got some good insights. There's the pod racing scene. You've got Darth Maul, but they still kind of suck.
No, none of them would say they suck. They would just say they weren't recognized as being binding. So, again, I told you this would take some time to unpack.
Right.
For this,
I'm
for this
really
listening.
intrigued by the fact that you're just spitting all this.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
So anyways.
And I'm actually drooling over here.
Yeah. So you have Erasmus who translated Textus Receptus. Luther went and translated into German, the Bible into German, into the vernacular language. You had people like Tyndale who were doing the same with in English. So you had Jerome, and then you had this whole wave of guys who were translating it into their vernacular. Now let's fast forward to the King James Version Bible. So when the King James Version Bible
the best
was initiated as a translation, as an updated translation, they had what were called three companies. Three companies of different groups of people. Company number one dealt with the Old Testament. Company number two dealt with the New Testament, and they had a lot of different scholars in these companies that were translating. And company number three dealt with the Apocrypha. So to Mom's point here, again, if you're just tuning in, this person was saying their mom said that, she is right. From Jerome through the New King James Version, the Apocrypha was part of the Bible. But, and you have to qualify this, they didn't see it on par with the Old and New Testament. They translated it as additional historical insight, but it wasn't as binding. So the King James committees, the companies, what they call them, did translate the Old Testament, they translated the New Testament, and they translated the Apocrypha. And in the earliest King James Version Bibles, you had all three sets of books. Now, fast forward to the Protestants, particularly here in America. And this is where it gets pretty interesting.
Okay.
So, Mom, going back to this person, Mom is a little bit correct. And she said, well, why Protestants dropped it was because they didn't agree with it. Well, it isn't that cut and dry. The reason why American Protestants dropped it was largely both economically based and theologically based, because all the early printings of the Bible that were coming to America were being shipped from Europe. And at that time, as of now, you do it by weight. So if these books of the Bible are not as binding,
got it.
Let's take them out and just use them.
It was a weight issue?
It's economic, but it also theological.
Always a weight issue. That's why you got to cut sugar out.
Yeah, you also have to understand the larger landscape of Europe at this time was saying, hey, listen, if these books have never really been accepted as binding, why include them?
Yeah.
You know, why confuse everything? So people started to take them out. And it wasn't just evangelicals. I mean, there were other people that were saying, hey, if these guys aren't as binding. So they started to take them out completely. So you just had the Old Testament and New Testament, and then you had the Apocrypha floating out. So the Protestants, it is true, stressed just the Old and New Testament. And then the Council of Trent, they did bring them back in, because what they were doing, you have to understand, the Council of Trent was saying, hey, we want to be different from what those Protestants are saying. And for the most part, they've kind of neglected the Apocrypha. We want to bring it back. And what they did is that they distributed the Apocrypha among the books that are associated with different books.
So the Council of Trent was kind of like the hipster Catholics, where they were like, oh, bro, we're bringing back vinyl. It's been out of circulation for like ever. And so we're going to bring it back, and we're going to have like stupid glasses and sit in coffee shops and talk about the Apocrypha.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, you could say that. But what they were trying to do, the Council of Trent within Roman Catholicism was trying to really brand what Catholics believe and who they are. They basically took things for granted throughout the history of the Middle Ages, and then they said, boom, we're putting our stamp on this. This is who we are. This distinguishes us from the Protestants. And they officially adopted the Apocrypha and spread it throughout the Old Testament, not even keeping it separate like Jerome, not even putting it in the middle like the translators of the New King James Version. They just redistributed it throughout the Bible and voted that this is officially ours. Now, here's the thing, folks. I tell people this in my bibliology class, which is the history and authenticity of the Bible, is Protestants don't have to be afraid of the Apocrypha.
Right.
You don't have to go, oh, that's a book of the devil. It is not.
No, that's the Necronomicon.
Yeah.
Good call.
The Apocrypha is not a book of the devil. The Apocrypha are extra historical books that both the early Jews and the early church didn't deem as valuable or as binding, meaning they didn't see it as inspired books.
So a member of the Star Me, Alicia, says, I usually explain the Apocrypha writings more like journals as opposed to being inspired by the Holy Spirit. Is that correct?
Well, I wouldn't use the word journals. I would say that, particularly when you get into the Maccabees and so on and so forth, they were more what I would say, some were historical records.
Okay.
And some were devotional records.
Okay.
So think of it today. Someone writes, I'm just going to pull a book out of the air. What's that Rick Warren book?
Dude, Purpose-Driven Life.
Purpose-Driven Life. So many people.
Dang it, I had a joke earlier that I totally didn't do.
So many people read the Purpose-Driven Life.
Yes.
I mean, it was so popular. It became part of the evangelical.
40 gajillion copies.
Exactly.
You don't even need to read the Bible after you read that.
Okay.
Right. But you know what I'm saying. So some of the Apocrypha books were like that. They were meant to encourage, enlighten Old Testament believers. Now, mind you, nothing in the Apocrypha has anything to do with the New Testament. It's all Old Testament writings.
Right.
So think of them like of their day. They would have been like the hit book of their day.
Right.
And they were so widely used, they were accepted in some churches. And others were like historical accounts. So these combination of books really became odd because they were like very respected, used, kind of like the purpose-driven life in today's world, but they were not part of the canon.
Got it.
Now I think you painted a beautiful picture of what our future is going to look like as far as the Apocrypha, because I compare the Apocrypha to semi-automatic rifles. And Dick's Sporting Goods is banning semi-automatic rifles. That's where it starts, man. Just like the Apocrypha. They started with the weight issue.
I guess actually
and all these
kind of.
other...
Because
Totally,
Dick's
right?
Sporting Goods actually banned them in 2012.
What?
After Sandy Hook, but then they brought them back because they were like, we need some sales, yo. Like
Before you know it, they're going to take our guns away.
So the Council of Trent was like Dick's Sporting Goods when they decided to bring back the AR-15s. But then now, like, another crazy thing happens, and then they're like, no, these are out.
Apocrypha's gone, man. Just like our guns are going to be gone.
Okay.
Hide your guns!
I'm throwing this
Dex and Steve-O turned in a conversation about the Apocrypha into a gun rights conversation.
Well, yeah, like a typical Republican Christian in 2018.
Trying to take my guns away?
Good job, Dex.
Trying to take my
Good
guns
job.
away,
Way
man?
to go. You've been spending way too much time with
Dex is from
Bill
Montana.
Peterson. I know.
They have more guns per capita than I think anyone.
That's my
I don't know,
retirement
bro.
plan.
I'm from
is when my
Texas,
mom and
yo.
dad die. When my mom and dad die, I have a lot of money coming to me because I'm going to be selling all those guns.
Okay, you're so stupid.
Back to the point, the actual legitimate question. So here's how I would summarize it. I would summarize it that yes, the Apocrypha has been part of the larger biblical landscape since the beginning, but it also has always been clearly understood as not being inspired at the same level from Jerome onward. Then the Protestants later took the Apocrypha. The King James people took it from the back of the Bible where Jerome put it. They put it in the center because they said it really relates more to the Old Testament, so let's put it in. It sheds light on the New Testament in some regard, historically speaking. But it wasn't until the American evangelical and Protestants that for both theological reasons and economical reasons said, let's just get it out of here completely. If it's not as inspired and binding, we don't need it. Now, again, Protestants don't need to be afraid of the Apocrypha. It's interesting reading.
I was just going to ask, what kinds of things can we expect if we were going to go down that road?
Well, my favorite book in the Apocrypha is Bel and the Dragon, and it's kind of like this little story of, it has a devotional, almost moral, like Aesop's fable type thing. But I think really the books that Protestants really should definitely read would be the Maccabees. You know, basically the story of where we get Hanukkah. You know, where the Jewish nation gets Hanukkah.
Right.
And so it sheds some historical light on there. So we don't have to be afraid of them. Do we look to them for inspiration and for, you know, do we turn to them and go, well, wisdom, you know, says this, or Bel and the Dragon says this? No, we don't do that.
But they have dope names like Bel and the Dragon.
Yeah, there were dragons
like a
back
Led
then?
Zeppelin song.
Yeah,
Am I right?
Yeah, but so we would use them as inspired books, but we would use them as books that have a historical really shed some light historically and you know, devotionally.
Josue says, our starting point of theology is the writing of the apostles in the Hebrew Bible. Other writings are just wisdom, other people writing at the same time. He says that we need to mention that those books weren't written by any of the apostles because that's where the real theology comes in.
Yeah, yes, you have to understand these books were before the apostles. So of course they weren't written by the apostles. They predated the apostles. These are all Old Testament books.
Yeah.
Again, let's make that clear. I've said it about 3 times, but I'll say it again. None of these books were New Testament books. They were all Old Testament books. Now, that could lead us to all the books that were written during the New Testament times, and that would be another whole 4 hours of discussion why we don't think the Gospel of Peter, the Gospel of Thomas, and all these other Gospels and all these other writings, why we think those are not inspired books of the Bible. And then that's where Josue is right, because one of the provenance for the early books was that it was connected to, and there was legitimate historical lineage to that apostle. But mind you, again, there were books in the New Testament that are inspired that aren't connected to an apostle.
Well, yeah, and to bring both into it, Seth is bringing up the book of Jude and how he even quotes the book of Enoch. And
right.
how he said, my problem with that is the early church looked to these books as guidance. You look at Jude, he quoted and pulled theology from the book of Enoch.
Yeah, and again, we'd have to unpack that on a different level because, I mean, honestly, bibliology, the history and authenticity of Scripture is massive. It takes me a whole semester to get through it.
Right.
So to try to do it in 20 minutes.
No, bro, you've got 6 minutes.
It doesn't do. But you have to understand, in the New Testament, not all books were connected to an apostle. I mean, you have writers who wrote down stuff that were accepted. So why books were accepted as binding and inspired? Yes, one point was connected to an apostle. There are other criteria, what they would call universal and or Catholic, because Catholic means universal.
Oh, we don't believe in universalism.
No, but universal acceptance among all churches in the Middle East. So if you were using it and you were using it and you were using it over there, we could rest assured that it is binding. It had universal appeal.
Sounds like some one world government stuff, man.
It's like hymnals in the Baptist church and then like the AG and everything. It's like you turn to page 147, you're going to see all fly away.
Yeah. Kind of. A little bit like that. Yeah. So it's actually one of my favorite topics to teach is bibliology, the history and authenticity of the Bible, because it sheds so much light and it opens so many people's eyes. And it really gives us confidence as to the books that we have. Man, these guys really thought about this in the early church. It wasn't just kind of like, what was it, like some novels, I don't know if the Da Vinci Code or whatever hits on this, but the early church tried to suppress these other books and so on and so forth. But the reality is, no, the early church did their homework. Yeah. They studied hard. They looked at the provenance and the books of the Bible, and then they voted on which ones were being used. So it gives me assurance like, wow, the early church did their homework.
Right.
They read it. They understood what books should be included, and then they chose those that we now know as the New Testament. And again, the Apocrypha is not New Testament, folks.
No.
It's Old Testament.
Right.
The other books that weren't included during the New Testament, which are many, those were saying, no, those are different books. They're not inspired because for assortment of reasons, but these are the books that are.
Okay. Dude, thanks to Steph who chimed in. If you're just joining us, you've got to go back and catch us on demand because that was a big question and had a lot to do with the Apocrypha and Catholicism versus the Protestant church, if you will. She said, you guys are awesome. Thanks again. I need to take your class. That's what she said.
All right, Steph.
She said the reason her mom and her have been starting with this issue is because there are specific beliefs in Catholicism that are perpetuated from the books of the Apocrypha.
Sure.
And my point to her is that some of that stuff is not actually scriptural.
Yeah, and Steph, I would agree with you that. And that's where you would have to come back. You would have to go back to the early understanding, the early church's understanding of how they viewed not only the New Testament, but also the Old Testament. And you could go to the guy who translated the Vulgate, Jerome himself, and look into the reasons why he chose not to deem the Apocrypha as being as binding and authoritative as the other books.
I don't know, man. That sounds a little sci-fi to me. Vulgate, get it? All right,
Vulgate?
I'll leave.
I got it.
No, yeah.
Brian Nixon, everybody.
Hey, guys, thanks.
Oh,
you
man.
guys rock.
Theology Thursday is back!
Well,
yeah!
just for one Thursday.
Okay. Well.
All right, you guys
Thanks,
rock.
man.
Bye.
All right. All right, we got to take a quick break. Stephen Christian going to be joining us at 9 for Shock Therapy Live from the Dreamstar Remodeling Star 88 Studios. Hang on.
Good morning. Are you a 30 to 40-something-year-old male who doesn't know how to respond appropriately to difficult emotional situations at these trying times? Listen to The Morning Invasion. Unsure of how to respond to the latest episode of This Is Us? Listen to The Morning Invasion. Not quite sure what to think about the latest iteration of Cable and the Marvel movies? Listen to The Morning Invasion. Do you want to know how much the Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory costs to run? Listen to The Morning Invasion. If you don't know how to pose seductively on a couch as the camera pans away from you in a vertical manner, well, then you need to go to the Facebook page of one of the DJs of The Morning Invasion. Because Steve-O is that 30 to 40-something-year-old male who will let the rest of us know how to respond to difficult emotional situations in these trying times. Granted, he's probably crying, but that just means you need to be crying too. The Morning Invasion. Use it.
Tony Evans. This is a Star 88 Supernova.
Have you ever been to the Texas State Fair or to a carnival of any kind, and you'll hear all the voices around you calling your name? Harry, Harry, Harry. They're calling you. They're all calling. Try this, try that, try. There are so many voices all calling your name. All of you, they're wanting you to play their game. They're wanting you to spend your money to play their game, and their game is designed for them to win, not for you to win. And they will gladly give you a doll or a teddy bear after you've spent $25 trying to win it, because they are calling you to play their game. The reason why Shamgar was successful is that Shamgar was only listening to one voice.
That was Pastor Tony Evans on a Star 88 Supernova. President Abraham Lincoln said, "My concern is not whether God is on our side. My greatest concern is to be on God's side, for God is always right." Star 88 with a solar flare.
face down. I've got more secrets than you'll ever know. Another year and you won't let it go. Too many times I told myself to hold on, but it's too late for me. Now I'm as good as
Corson considers fear with a Star 88 PowerPoint.
The things that scare you the most are also the things you care the most about. Therefore, they're often the things you most need to do. So always do what you were afraid to do. Just like Isaiah, just like Samson, just like David, and ultimately just like Jesus. I'm not saying that go jump out of planes necessarily. I'm not saying go jump off buildings. I'm not saying go to the most unapproachable girl and flirt to convert. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying, you know what I mean, as a general rule of thumb. When you're every day conquering some new fear, you're learning the secret to life. I'm not saying be crazy. How do crazy people go through the woods? They take the psychopath. I'm not saying be a psychopath. What I'm saying is fear is a terrible master, but a wonderful servant. Did you hear me? Fear is a terrible master, but a wonderful servant. When fear bullies you around, it's terrible. But when fear is a servant directing you in the direction you need to go, it can serve you as a compass.
That's Ben Corson, a PowerPoint on Star 88.
What's going on in the news today?
Jared Kushner's access to highly classified information cut off after he was stripped of his temporary top-secret security clearance, part of a recent crackdown by the Chief of Staff, John Kelly.
The CEO of Dick's Sporting Goods says he's pulling assault rifles from store shelves.
We were so disturbed and saddened by what happened, we felt we really needed to do something.
U.S. pedestrian deaths spiked to 6,000 last year, according to the Governor's Highway Safety Association. Experts say the rise over the past few years comes as more people use smartphones and as recreational marijuana becomes legal in more states.
France is accusing Syrian President Bashar al-Assad of sabotaging last weekend's UN ceasefire resolution.
Only a handful of private citizens have ever had the honor of lying in honor at the Capitol. The Reverend Billy Graham has now joined that short list.
The Canadian $1,000 bill is no longer legal tender. The Bank of Canada actually stopped printing the bills 18 years ago.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Thanks for joining us. We're live from the Dreamstyle Remodeling Star 88 Studios. TMI being brought to you by PressandHeart.com. You can check out Scotty's Pawn Hive Morning Invasion t-shirt. I'm wearing one right now on YouTube Live and Facebook Live. Also, oh, you're not wearing a TMI t-shirt, I see. That's fine.
I'm wearing an OKC t-shirt. Shout out to my friends in Oklahoma City.
Cool.
The OKC.
Yeah, here's the deal. When you guys buy one of these t-shirts, you guys are supporting the station, which is really cool. Press and Heart has teamed up with us because they believe in the ministry, they believe in the show, they believe in you. So thank you to Press and Heart for jumping on board and being a part of what we're doing here. Check out all of our t-shirts right now. We got a store at star88.fm. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hola, this is Rosa.
Hello.
Okay. What do you want, Britt Romney?
Oh, it's Britt Romney, everybody.
Hola.
What's up?
Hey, we were talking about shirts, and so I called to pick a bone with you guys because the reason I wasn't on Tuesday is because I'm a little hurt at you guys.
Talk to us. Talk to us.
Okay.
Talk to us.
Guys, for everybody who doesn't know, this is Britt Romney. She basically runs our Facebook Live feed.
She's the president.
She's the president. She bosses everyone around.
Stop it. No, I don't.
What happened? What did we do? What did we do?
Okay, so it's my birthday in 14 days.
Okay.
And you guys were my favorite
until Friday. Or Saturday,
No.
she met Heidi.
What?
And Heidi gave her T-shirts, and I was like, "Why did you give her T-shirts?"
Heidi gave you T-shirts. Heidi
not
did?
just one T-shirt. Heidi gave me 2 T-shirts.
You got 2 T-shirts from Heidi?
Because she was at the road show.
Why are you such a T-shirt hog?
And I was at the marriage conference, and Heidi was there, and she's like, "Oh man, we don't have a small, but you know what? I'm going to call right now to see if they can bring you one."
Wow, that girl.
I was like, "You know what, Heidi? I don't care what they say about you.
Okay.
You are amazing. You are my favorite now."
Everybody loves her once they get out to a Star 88 event and realize she's much cooler than we are because she gives away all the free stuff.
Which is why when we ever ask for things, she never gives us.
She never gives us anything
because she wants to hoard all of the love.
She does. Give it to you.
I told her, I was like, you know what, Heidi? I'm like, can you believe that these guys have not given me anything for my birthday? I'm like, it's okay. This made up for it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. When I stopped
I
crying.
thought you said in 14. It's like March 15th. We have
It doesn't matter.
We have 2 weeks.
Listen,
Heidi, here's the deal.
listen.
Here's the deal. Can I say something real quick? Britt Romney, please. Can I say something? We get yelled at if we take more than one when we're not supposed to.
Yeah.
We get yelled at. She throws paper in our face.
I don't believe that.
Do you want us to
not
get yelled
see
at?
Heidi throwing paper in your face.
Oh, you've never seen her get angry. She cries,
She paper cuts
she
us.
yells, she
paper
screams.
cuts us.
Yeah.
She told me some stories of what you guys do to her, too, and I was pretty appalled.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Hardly ever see her.
I don't want you to dump me, so I can't say anything. I'm just kidding. No. But seriously, 14 days. So if you guys can just mark
You are
your
the first
calendar
person
there.
I've ever met that does like birthday month. It's not like, oh my gosh, you guys, it's my
Really?
birthday week.
No, I know somebody.
Is it Britt Romney?
Teo did all the time.
Teo did birthday year.
Yeah, he do
Like,
year.
Every year. Every year. It's like, hey, his birthday's August 13th, so
Like
or
each
August
year?
12th. August 13th.
You know why?
12th? I don't even remember him.
My family's like that, dude. We do birthday month because see, my mom's birthday is in March too. She's March 5th, and so we're like we celebrate the whole month of
Great.
March for our birthday.
I don't know, man. That's a
just-
little excessive.
Again, another reason why Seth should be sainted. All of these things you say. So he's such a good man.
Oh no!
He's such a
Seth
good man.
tell you guys what I asked for my birthday?
Oh gosh. Yeah.
What was that you're cutting out? Well, say it again?
Listen, couple.
Get-
Okay, tell
Go
me.
ahead.
I want to know. Okay, if
Okay.
people really need to give an honest
Yeah,
opinion. I want to see
I
people's
wanna-
honest opinion.
Okay.
I asked Seth to buy us couples dance lessons.
You're a saint. Not you,
Seth.
Britt.
Seth is a saint if he does this.
Well, I texted him the other night when he was studying. I took
Couples
Jacob,
dance
away.
lessons? Gosh.
Yeah, so I texted
you...
him. I was like, "Do you know what I really want for my birthday?" And he's like, "What do you want, baby?" I was like, "I want to go to couples dance lessons, dude." Let me tell you, it took him like 15 minutes to text me back.
Well, yeah. You know what? I just realized who you are. You are the star of The Real Housewives of Albuquerque. You
Good call.
need to start a show. You'll be great.
You and your phone.
No,
You're
you
the
know,
person on
listen.
reality
Okay,
TV
listen,
that people
guys.
love.
Let me tell you, I was operating in some manipulation because the only reason that I asked, because Seth hates to dance, dude. He's like, he's not a dancer. Like, we go anywhere, he's like, okay, if we're not like two-stepping, and he even that, he like,
He probably has
doesn't like
great
it, but he'll
footwork.
do
He
that,
played
you know?
football.
No, dude, let me tell you, he hates it, right? So the only reason I asked is because we were like post 2 days after the marriage conference, and I was like, I wonder if like I text him and asked him for couples dance lessons, what he would say.
Oh,
you always wait till after the marriage.
Seth, call me, bro. I
Weekend.
have a friend who owns a dance studio here.
Oh, good. See, do they offer couples dance lessons?
Of course they do.
I'll teach you how to do
All
it.
right. I'll let Seth know.
No, you don't
So
have
anyways,
to.
okay, guys,
He
just wanted-
listens
I
to
wanted
every
to let
word
you
I
know
say.
14
He
Hey,
hangs on
Brett.
it.
Also, you know what? Stop recording your husband when he's laying in bed, just trying to relax.
Yeah,
you
dude,
know,
you
after
know-
a hard day's work.
You know how stumbling that is to see that man shirtless? I'm like, I
It
gotta
is.
get back to
I
the
stumble
gym.
every day.
I know.
You guys are so ridiculous. Is this when I asked him to go get me sushi?
Yeah,
I mean,
that
every
too.
time you guys are in bed, you're
That
like,
too, but then he's
hey,
always
look at
shirtless.
me. Instagram live with my shirtless husband next to me, who is a football star. Look at that
All
chest.
ripped and stuff.
I'm like, wow.
He's always like pretty much covered up.
Uh-huh.
I don't know about
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm. It's all right. You can humble brag. You got a hot hubby. That's fine. It's cool.
I know, I really do.
Okay.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
you're cutting out. You're cutting out.
Bye guys.
Britt Romney, everybody.
We need to start a reality TV show in Albuquerque. Real Housewives of Albuquerque. Britt Romney would be the head of that house.
Yep. Shout out to they're ladies. There are great men out there. There really are.
Yeah, and Britt needs to take this to heart because somebody chimed in on the live one and said, I have a friend who got dumped for refusing to celebrate his girlfriend's birthday month.
Birthday month.
That is
I'm
just
sorry,
stupid.
but that's ridiculous. Maybe birthday week. Okay, I'll give you a birthday week. Birthday month? That's too much.
That's way too
That's
much.
way too much. Birthday month?
I mean, maybe if it's February because there's only a few days in there, but No. No birthday month. We're not celebrating. We're moving on.
Well, we only got a little bit of time left for you to talk about your semi-automatic weapons. So go ahead.
Okay. Let's leave that for Steven since he loves semi-automatic weapons. I want to know his thoughts on it.
Yeah?
No. Oh. But that would be fun to talk about. Shock Therapy Live coming up at 9 o'clock. Because I've got real news, guys. I've got real news. Can I have some Hollywood music, please?
Hollywood music?
Yeah, since I'm inspired by Britt Romney. I just want to talk about all the important things in life. We only have a few minutes anyway, so I thought I'd just talk about some great news. Welcome to The Real Housewives of Albuquerque. I've got some very serious news to cover in a short amount of time, so let's get to it.
Good morning. Good. I'm here in the four-poster bed with the two poodles and the cat.
Woo!
That was a Real Housewife of New York?
First of all, Thor, am I right?
Okay. You gotta stop.
Chris Hemsworth is circling around the wagon known as Men in Black.
All play and no work makes me a happy girl.
Get out of my life.
Should I do the whole thing like this? Because I just have non-news for the next 8 minutes. No. Chris Hemsworth is probably going to star in the new Men in Black spin-off series. And I'm like, yes.
Spin-off series? Are we talking TV? Or are we talking a movie? What are we talking here?
Gary Gray, who directed last year's Fate of the Furious, is helming the movie. It's got a script by Matt Holloway, who did Iron Man, and it's coming out in June 2019.
No kidding. Yeah. All right, I'm excited for that. Did you see Chris Hemsworth on Instagram this weekend with his kids?
When they were watching Thor.
That was pretty cool.
I follow everything he does.
He was talking about brainwashing his kids. It was hilarious.
It was great. I love Chris Hemsworth. I can't do that voice for much longer. I'm dying a slow, painful death in my brain.
I was trying to grasp... If my dad was Thor, if my dad was Chris Hemsworth, and I'm sitting there watching Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, dude, my kids feel like this every day because they watch the show and they're on Facebook Live and they're like, oh my gosh, my dad is Stave Out.
That's not true. Maybe Brody.
No one cares, actually, in real life. No one cares. So I'm willing to bet they probably don't care much that their dad is Thor.
Yeah, I wonder what that's like.
Does that ruin the magic of it, too? Because it's like, that's not Thor, that's my dad.
No, but I bet you anything, Chris Hemsworth plays it up. I bet you anything he tells them he's Thor.
Yeah.
I would.
I mean...
Starmy, good morning.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Buck, welcome to the program.
Yes. So, do you have your wish worked out?
My wish?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Well, Steve-O kind of broke the news to me yesterday. Am I not supposed to be talking about this on the air? Your Make-A-Wish thing?
What?
It's because you weren't here yesterday because you were dying.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
My Make-A-Wish?
You're terminal, right?
I'm dying. Oh,
that's why I took the day off.
Steve-O exaggerates everything.
I didn't exaggerate anything.
You told Buck I was dying?
I didn't say you were dying.
I was dying. I felt like I was dying.
I'm going back to my texts.
I felt like I was dying.
You sound just fine now.
Oh, really? Well, I'm not sick. I had diarrhea and I puked. That has nothing to do with my voice.
I literally said, Dex got sick. That's my 3-word text.
Do I have to sound sick?
I didn't say dying.
Just kind of,
But here's the thing. He has never been sick, and this year, because he bragged about how he's never sick, he's been sick so many times.
I didn't take one sick day last year. Not one time I got sick, and then I was bragging about it, and I've been sick twice already. What, you don't believe me?
I do believe you. Why would I have any reason not to?
I don't know, you just sound like you're not buying it, with your condescending Make-A-Wish statement.
I'm just concerned about you. That's all.
I'm concerned about you.
You are getting older.
I'm not even 40 yet. I'm not even old. You've been 40 for many years.
You're halfway through your life. You realize that? You're halfway through your life.
No, man, I'll live to be 100.
Actually, you're more than halfway through your life because according to the pact that we made, 65, lights out, baby.
You're taking that literally, aren't you?
You told me to take it literally.
I was joking. It was for radio.
See, now you're worried about it.
You know what? I'm not worried about it. You'll be gone
Buck,
before
you're
then. You'll be dead. You'll be dead.
Wasn't there a movie that had something like that where the dude like made a deal with somebody? It was like Mickey Rourke or something, and he showed up to like he's like,
I remember that.
I made you a promise, and I'm a man of my word.
Yeah.
What?
Buck will be dead before then. It'll be fine.
Okay.
No,
you're in bad health. Let's talk about that.
I'm in bad health.
You're in bad health.
I'm very healthy.
How many times did you go to the doctor last year? How many times did you go to the doctor?
My news. I was going to talk about Chris Hemsworth. I was going to talk about Black Panther. Also, the new Wonder Woman movie. But that's fine.
Big shocker. You're going to talk about more comic book stuff.
Yeah, shocker.
I'm a nerd.
You're right. Who cares about that? They're only the highest grossing films in the history of all time. My bad.
Hey, I got a question for you. Are you okay with Dick's Sporting Goods banning assault rifles?
Okay.
I don't think they're banning them. I think they're pulling them off the shelves.
Right. They're banning them from their stores.
Yeah, I mean, what else?
I mean, do you guys want to get into this conversation? We
no,
can.
We have 2 minutes until we break, and then we've got Shock Therapy Live. And oh my god!
I just wanted to know real quick your thoughts on it. Are you okay with that?
Did you guys tell Stephen Christian I'm replacing him?
Oh no, should we tell him? Am I supposed to tell him?
For what? What are you replacing him with?
Shock Therapy Live.
You mean today?
Oh, just need a general, Dexter. Come on.
No, Nate Heitzig is the one who hosts it. You got to take it up with our boss.
You should let him know that.
You know, second in command of the kingdom.
What?
I thought that was Jesus. That is God the Father, Jesus.
What is happening? Man, everything just went downhill.
My life's going downhill. Where's my drop? Where's my drop?
My life's going downhill. Thank you, girl.
Oh man.
How come Nate's not been doing Shock Therapy Live?
He's in Israel, man.
He's in Israel. Yeah, he's on that trip.
Oh, okay. Of course he is. Is he sending you GoPro videos like all these?
Oh my gosh, you should see.
GoPro videos?
No, you should see them. They're everywhere. Like, is that his GoPro? Like his? Or no, not his GoPro.
The drone?
Does he have a drone?
I thought so.
Yeah, he's got this drone that flies over everything, man.
But you got to be careful in Palestine,
right?
I'm just kidding.
Wow, Steve-O.
Black Panther has surpassed Wonder Woman and Toy Story 3 at the box office, guys.
Nerd alert.
It's huge news. It's going to become this is going to become the highest grossing film ever.
Big shocker, another Marvel movie made a boatload of money.
I mean, that's a pretty big deal considering it's only been out for 12 days and it's already made, $421 million.
Have you seen it yet, Buck?
No.
Oh, gosh. You don't care about Wakanda.
Dude!
Here's the thing. You know, I don't have as much free time on my hands as you do, Dexter.
Really? I've already seen it 3 times.
I don't even know how you managed to go out and see it with the 18 baseball games that your kids play a week.
I mean,
I don't even know how you had time to do that.
Yeah. It's because, man, priorities, bro. Priorities.
I don't have seen it 6 times.
I don't have friends anymore, but I do have my kids and Marvel. So that's all I need. That's all I need.
Yo, dog, we got to go.
It's 8:58.
Oh, you know what?
And he's gonna hang up.
You don't have to be so rude, Buck. Jeez.
Dude. Literally at the exact same time.
All right, we got to take a break.
I love us so much.
When we come back, Stephen Christian,
the 2 best friends that everyone had.
Buck and I used to sing that all the time.
No.
That's weird.
Okay.
When we come back, Stephen Christian.
We hope. I texted him.
No, I texted him earlier. He's coming.
Oh, thank the Lord.
Yeah, because he wasn't coming. Yeah. Get your questions in, guys. Shock Therapy Live. Stephen Christian from the Dreamstyle Remodeling Star 88 Studios is next.
The Sunshine Theater presents Red in concert. With Lacey Sturm and Righteous Vendetta. At the Sunshine Theater, Saturday, March 31st. Doors at 7. Tickets at sunshinetheaterlive.com. Learn more online at star88.fm/events.
It's been said that man can live for days or weeks without food or water, but only a few moments without hope. This week on Walk in the Word, root yourself in the only true source of hope as James McDonald concludes his series titled Hope Springs Eternal. Then, discover the power of love-filled words in a message from the Act Like Men Conference. Listen all this week to Walk in the Word with James McDonald.
Make an appointment with James McDonald weekdays at 12:30 p.m. on our sister station, KNKT 107.1 FM.
Hi, I'm Todd Nettleton, and this is the Voice of the Martyrs Radio. In 2009, Imran Ghafoor was arrested and sentenced to life in prison in Pakistan. Though no offense could be proven, he was convicted for burning one page of the Quran. He remains in prison to this day while the courts delay his appeal. Imran's brother and sister are allowed one 30-minute visit with him each month. Though in prison, Imran selflessly asks about his aging parents and prays for Christians around the world. In lands where Christians are in the minority, there is often little justice for those who are persecuted. Pray for justice on behalf of Imran and thank the Lord that despite being in prison, he is still faithful to Christ.
I will not let my brothers and sisters suffer in silence, nor will I let them serve alone. To join me in a prayer for persecuted Christians, go to vomradio.net.
This is KLYT Albuquerque Santa Fe, rebroadcast on KKCJ Cannon Air Force Base, KPKJ Mintmore, K201CC Las Cruces, K203EZ Alamogordo, K207CQ Gallup, K211CW Hobbs, K212EH Silver City, K214DE Antonito, K218AK Artesia, K250AB Roswell, K293AO Alamosa, K228DQ Portales, in the free app for iOS and Android, and online at star88.fm.
Look at us, stuck in a rut. I don't care. It's a snare, trapping us down with the dirt and the leaves. I can see inside the sun, through the trees, lighting the earth, evergreen, only with you near me. Lift me up when I go, wipe the sweat from my brow. The risen fights on my own, I can rely on.
Stephen Christian.
Really?
Oh, Christian.
I was so excited. I just knew there was a new
Oh, welcome to Shock Therapy Live with Stephen Christian, everybody.
I'm leaving.
Nope. Steven said you had to make an intro.
I even said that weeks ago.
You did?
And
Steve-o.
I knew that I knew.
I was sick, bro,
I
yesterday.
told you. No, I said weeks ago.
Hold
I was
on,
like,
maybe this one worked. Let me see.
Oh, seriously depressing Shock Therapy Live. No really stories to make you cry at Shock Therapy Live. Said call us, text us, Shock Therapy Live. Cause we wanna talk to you. We wanna talk to you. Yeah.
Oh, you know, slightly better just because there was no names.
There's no
in
names.
that.
No names.
Slightly better.
All right. Well.
That guy can sing, am I right?
Yeah.
That guy can sing.
I like the slightly depressing line.
It is
It'll make you
every
cry.
week.
It is not.
It's so great because then I'm like, gosh, my life doesn't suck that much. I'm just kidding.
I'm so confused.
Guys, it's Shock Therapy Live with Stephen Christian.
Oh,
it's an hour.
wow.
It's an hour of just him and you.
And heart-wrenching questions.
Whatever you're going through, whatever struggles you're going through, this man behind me has the wisdom.
I don't know about all that. I'm going to try my best.
We're going to jump right in.
Yeah, jump right in immediately. We got so many questions already.
Wow. AR-15s, let's do
Serious
this.
question for Shock Therapy Live. Is it gross to wipe your nose on your gloves? I mean, it's just the runnies, you know, no chunky or crusty things. And then gloves are made of polyester or cotton or something. I mean,
good question.
Need your help.
I'm not.
What? That's a real question on Shock Therapy Live. How can you say you're here for the Starmy if you can't answer their questions?
I say it's fine.
That's neither shocking nor therapy.
I say it's fine. You can run. Yes, you can.
No, that's gross because then if you shake your hands with that person.
Yeah, but you don't
you're
care
like,
about other people.
"Nah,
It's all about you.
When are you snowboarding or out in the snow and shaking hands with somebody?
Oh, that's true.
So you should
I
just
don't
throw,
use gloves.
just throw
I
in the
use
laundry
mitts.
as soon as you get back to your destination. Throw in the laundry.
I prefer mitts when snowboarding.
And do snot rockets, man. Don't just wipe it on your gloves.
Snot rockets? No, but if you have like a bushy beard like this guy, it goes and gets stuck right there. And then you're like, then you got bugs, you got like clingers,
This
you know?
is so great, guys. This
What?
is great radio.
Weird. You know what? I guess you don't care about humans. We care about the Starmy. Okay?
Okay. We started out the show so strong too. Tons of like happy faces went across the screen, and people
Those
were just
weren't
like
happy
smileys.
faces. They were laughing at
okay,
our music.
laughing faces.
Stop it.
And now, exactly.
You stop it.
Alexa,
okay.
make the show better.
Oh,
just kidding.
So if we do an intro for you, what Amberlin song would you want us to
Okay.
mock? What's your
I
least
don't
favorite
care.
Amberlin song?
I don't know. I don't care. All of them.
They're all of them are your children? Let's be honest.
I'm just saying. No, that's so cheap.
What's your least favorite Amberlin song?
You'd have to give me a second. I've got several.
Really?
Bedroom rock?
Yep.
What?
Bedroom rock?
What does that even mean?
Lithuanian whisper?
I've never even heard the
Struggle in my armpit? Those have to be
These
your
aren't even
least
fake
favorite.
song titles. Like these aren't even close.
Pedro Munhoz?
I have no clue where you're coming from.
Was there ever a song that you were like, we're not doing this song, and then the label was like, you have to put the song in the album? You're like, I hate this song.
No, but I mean, definitely each record I could go back and like I regret a lot. Just at the time, you're just so stoked because, like you just said, they're your babies, and you're just like, the world needs to hear this art. And then it actually gets out, and you're like, the world should have never heard that.
Yeah, right.
Seriously, should have never, ever heard that.
I feel like that every morning when I do the show.
That's actually the new T-shirt I'm making for you guys.
Seriously.
You should hear this. Never mind.
I
Starry.
never listen back to the show anymore because I just want to puke.
No, whatever. It's a great show. Now that Teo's gone, it is top.
Hey,
Whoa! Just kidding, Teo.
That's
You're
a
not
stabbing.
listening. It doesn't matter.
Shock therapy question. Here's a real one. I was
All right.
offered a full-time associate student pastor job at a local church here in the ABQ, but I already have a steady job right now, and I'm also a full-time student. I'm at a crossroad, and I'm wondering if it's best for me to do something in ministry. Okay.
There's always going to be people in need. Therefore, there's always going to be ministry opportunities. However, the longer you sit in a ministry, the harder it is to go back to school. For instance, like in a few years, you might be married, and a few years later, you're going to have kids. It's just not feasible to get back to school because you got to pay the bills and night school. Your wife wants to hang out, so you can't go to school during the week, and you're going to miss soccer games. And all. I'm telling you, like, honestly, maybe you could volunteer there on the side just to show them that you care. But education is so important. If that's the track you're down, I'm not saying like it's for everybody, but apparently it's important to you. I would say just continue, graduate, and there are going to be plenty of ministry opportunities. Now, whether this opportunity is still there or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, at the end of the day, I'm just a human, man. You really need to go before God and He, and ask the Holy Spirit and have Him guide you. And I would say at the end of the day, go where the peace is. Go where the peace is.
Definitely. That's good.
You're talking about the guns, right? Your piece,
yeah,
your gat, boom, boom, boom.
You're such an American.
What are you? I'm, so American. You know me and my guns. Am I right?
I don't
exactly.
Do you not have any?
He does.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
are you packing right now, bro?
No,
Chrissy has them all.
There's no heat. Not packing heat.
Okay.
None of that heat. We can get into Dick's Sporting Goods at some point. However, we got a lot of questions to get to.
Hey, by the way, phone lines are open at 505-338-3700.
And we want to talk to you.
Yeah, we'd rather talk. Eddie Vedder's over here. He wants to talk to you.
Okay, anyways. Moving on.
Yep.
The live line is open. 505-585-LIVE. That's 505-585-5483. Seeing these shows on TV like Sister Wives and Seeking Sister Wife, what are your thoughts on polygamy? One episode has a woman who can't have children, and it's one of the reasons for her wanting to enter a polygamous relationship. They all say it's their choice and preference to be in these relationships. They don't all sleep together, only with the husband, and state they're not being forced into it. I understand some religions do force people into polygamy, but these are clearly not that situation. In the Bible, it was common to have multiple wives and or concubines. So what are our real thoughts on polygamy?
So yes, in the Old Testament, there absolutely was many wives. And a lot of the times, especially with the kings like Solomon or David, those would have been more for peace treaties rather than for any type of love. I'm sure there's been plenty of relationships that were.
What about Abraham? He had many wives, right?
Yes, he did. There was. But in the New Testament, the language changes. And it seems like it keeps reiterating a man will leave his family and cleave to his wife. And there's a lot of like, the two shall become one.
Yeah.
So like the two, it doesn't say, many. Even when Jesus was brought up, when the Pharisees kind of brought up many wives, they were kind of trying to Jesus juke him, for lack of better words, right. into kind of tricking him. And he was just kind of like, no, that's not how it works. You don't understand heaven. You're not going to be married. But so even there, he could have said something like, the Pharisees could have gone on a tangent about how she married 7 husbands or something to that effect. And what I'm trying to say is Old Testament, yes. New Testament under the covenant of Jesus Christ, no.
Yeah. And what are your thoughts on it? How awful would that be?
I mean, it would be.
I'm watching this show right now called Waco, which, by the way, that show, crazy, y'all. It's about David Koresh. It's a 6-episode miniseries on Paramount, and it's a really fascinating to watch because I remember that, but I don't fully remember that.
Yeah.
And watching like that setup and all of the wives and all of the crazy, I'm like, man, I can barely maintain Chrissy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they can all keep themselves pretty busy with each other.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what that kind of life would look like. I would not choose it just because,
that's what I'm saying.
Even if I had the
if
opportunity.
God was like, hey, bro,
just
this is totes legit.
I am set up, so I'm good to go.
Yeah.
I just don't get. I guess I can't wrap my head around it.
You have to watch this reality show. I'm serious. I've watched it.
So your head's wrapped around it?
Yeah, you'll understand it. It makes sense.
My wife is quality time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, he does a great job of juggling the wives, man. He has dinner dates on Tuesday with Martha.
This is
Thursday
stupid.
It's Betty.
This isn't The Bachelor.
Couple things real fast. Just practically speaking.
Yes.
I can only afford one. Well, unless all these women get day jobs, how would you even provide for that?
Yeah, this guy, the guy that's on the show, he makes a ton of money.
Oh, okay, sure.
You'd have
there you
to.
go. You'd have to.
No, but that still doesn't.
Because some. Well, so there was a show called Big Love. I think I watched one episode before I was like, nope. And then, but he had separate houses. They were next to each other.
Yeah.
They were like separate families. But I feel like at the end of the day, you're kind of ripping off the kids too. You know what I'm saying? You're kind of like, well, I'm with your mom Tuesdays and Fridays, and we go out on date nights Tuesdays, so I'll participate in your life on Fridays.
That's not really the case, though, when you watch the show. They all are like one big happy family to where, seriously, they are all together at all times. And so it's almost like maybe this other woman isn't my mom, but she's like my aunt. She's like...
This also begs another question, really practically speaking. Are there like somehow in the Mormon religions more women than men, just on a numbers basis?
Go to Salt Lake, man.
Because,
women outnumber men.
I'm being serious.
2-1, bro.
No way, it's not 2-1.
Heck yeah.
That's not real. But he has like 4 wives. You're just it's not even devil's advocate. It's just devil.
It's just dumb.
I
giggling
just
right now.
don't understand it. I just practically like financially and and also let's say God came down and said, Steven, you could have another wife. I want to tape record the conversation between me and my wife. That would be incredible. I mean, I would be beat up, but I'm just saying, like, how do you even go to your wife and be like, listen, honey, I was just, do you remember, Jenny? What do you think about Jenny? You like her? Is she, do you want to spend the rest of your life with her? How do you even bring that up in a conversation?
Watch the show.
I agree with Steven, man. I wouldn't even know how to approach that conversation. Like, okay, moving on.
I'm serious.
I agree with Thebes. He said, even in the Old Testament, nothing good ever resulted in having multiple wives.
Yeah, for real.
Nope.
But go back to Abraham.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nope. We're good.
But just watch the show, guys. It's really good. It's really fun.
No, it's not.
It's educational.
Okay.
I mean, wait, real fast.
Okay.
Yeah. Are there? I don't know this. I'm just asking the question. But in the Mormon, can one woman have like multiple husbands?
No.
But why?
I think it has to do with the man is the leader of the household, and I think that's where it.
But okay,
you're just speculating.
So,
no, I would imagine. That's
let's say
probably what
one
it is.
dude he marries 5 wives. That means there's 4 dudes out there that are Mormons that can't get anything.
Mm-hmm.
They're single.
Man, share the wealth, man.
Seriously,
share the wealth. I got probs and trubs.
Okay. Anyway, what was the question?
I don't know.
What was the question?
What were our thoughts on polygamy? I feel like we've
it's
exhausted it.
It is illegal.
Yeah.
I mean, right there alone, the Bible would say not to do it just based on that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, shock therapy live question. Someone I know does a Facebook Live video on their morning radio show and their zipper is down. Do I say something?
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
Good. I'm good too.
Yeah,
Okay.
you should definitely say something.
All right, cool. Yeah. Say something. I hate that, dude. If I'm in a conversation with somebody and I walk away and there's like a clinger or something hanging, I'm like, why didn't you tell me?
Yep. I appreciate when a friend will come up and say, dude, your fly's down. Thank you, dude.
Or
Thank
dude,
you.
got a little,
Yep.
Steven Seagal action.
Steven Seagal action?
Yeah,
Does his fly always down or something?
No, I'm talking about the bugs. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know that reference.
Because your nose is under siege. I'm just kidding.
Oh. This is like, we should change the name to Faux Comedy Hour. Shock Therapy Faux Comedy Hour.
Having James from Big Time Rush was a lot better than your stupid jokes. I'm just saying.
Oh, gosh, dude. We had the worst interview in the history of ever this morning. It was
Don't
so
judge my
bad.
interview.
It was so bad.
Would you ever be on Celebrity Big Brother?
How much?
You could win $250,000.
And
You'd be great at it.
The dude, he's got Amberlin money. He doesn't need $250,000.
He's right. He's a millionaire. I forgot.
Did you hear how quickly he shrugged that off?
$250,000.
That's all
Dude,
the money
Mark
in the world
McGrath
to
was
me.
on it this season. Come
You
on,
know
bro.
those dudes get paid before they go on there.
Oh, I know they
So,
do.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well,
it's not
I don't know
like-
about these. These are like
Yeah.
D-list celebrities. I think they need the money.
So is that why you just pointed to me and said you'd be perfect for the show?
I was just asking, man.
Well, now I know.
I was watching this TV show. It had a bunch of like washed up like former frontmen in bands that needed cash. No. Hey, have you ever thought about going on Celebrity Big Brother?
Hey, this is a perfect segue into my autobiography I want to pitch. It's called My Rise to Mediocrity. You guys should buy it in stores now. Published by Dex and Steve-O Publishing House.
What about The Amazing Race?
Yeah, no, I would totally do that. Yeah. That sounds fun. I'm not drama though, so I would make for boring TV, and I get voted off the island.
No, then you would win probably, because the people usually that don't have drama in the house are the ones who win.
They're just gonna be like, "Why didn't you sleep with Sarah?" And I'd be like, "Because I'm married and I'm a
That's
Christian."
not what it's like.
Yes,
Watch the show.
Well,
don't judge my
heard,
show.
I thought that maybe you might want, huh?
Don't judge my
You're
show.
voted off.
Man.
The only time I'm gonna get upset is like, guys, I'm missing a sock. I'm missing a sock.
You would be great in that
You're
show.
off.
You'd be really good.
Whatever.
I feel like I could
Amazing
produce
Race.
drama.
Amazing
Dude,
Race.
we
I'm
keep
on.
talking about this. A friend called or chimed in on the show this morning and said he's actually best friends with one of the producers of that show.
Come on, hook it up.
And I'm like, dude, Amazing Race, we would crush that.
Hook it up, man.
We would crush that.
All right.
We'd
I'll
have
be
to-
your third wheel.
We'd have to leave our show. Okay. Speaking of the show, let's get back to the questions. Phone lines are open. You can call us. What's that number, Dave?
505-338-3700. I love how you just...
You can also text into the live line. It's 505-585-LIVE, 585-5483. Or send us an email, studio@star88.fm. We got a few anonymous emails, and that's a great way if maybe you're going through something and you don't want to blast your name out there. Send us an email. We'll keep you private.
When you say anonymous,
yeah.
I mean, do they like make up a fake account?
Well, I mean, we know who they are, but we're not going to blast it.
We're just not going to say their name.
We're not going to. I mean, we're not going to say
What
it.
does that say right there?
Okay, stop.
And if you guys could
Barry?
keep your emails short and sweet, we'd appreciate it.
Okay. Gosh, they're going through life, bro.
We only have an hour, man.
Okay.
Hey guys, I am a 30-something-year-old woman. Never been married, and I don't have kids since I was a little girl. I always knew I wanted to be a wife and a mom. Being in almost mid-30s, I thought God would have had this happen already, but he hasn't. People tell me, well, God gave you the gift of singleness. But here's the thing. I love sex. Okay. I should have pre-read
Wow.
this. That's real. That's the next
That's
line.
fine.
Didn't pre-read it. Okay.
Go for it.
I've not been with a man since I rededicated my life to God. It's been about 5 years, but I do have sexual urges and desires, and most of the time I give in and help myself, if you know what I mean. So, if I have the gift of singleness, why do I continue to have these desires? And if I don't marry and that's not God's will either, is he just going to leave me burning with passion? I really wish Janae were here.
Well, you could say it's the same thing with a guy. Guys are in the same position.
That's fine. I mean,
I do want to do things God's way, but he hasn't provided a husband, and there are times I really do well and go months without masturbating, but I still fall. I still struggle. Is it always gonna be like this if God made me? Gosh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to read. Is it always gonna be like this if God made no one to be my mate? He says in his word that it's better to marry than to burn with lust if he doesn't provide a husband. Well, then what? Will I just be left to burn? I try and date, but God roadblocks me, and he always tells me no. And these are the dudes I meet at church. It's a small church, slim pickings to say the least. I feel like God's leading me from the things I want in life. Like he just doesn't care. Like he wants me alone all the time. And it makes me so sad to the point of depression. And that's when I decide to masturbate because I feel isolated and alone in this. It feels good at the moment, but afterwards I just get more depressed.
Yeah.
To the point of cutting myself. I've never been a cutter or suicidal, but I hurt so bad because no one wants me. And worse, God doesn't want me with anyone. I just want...
Okay.
Gosh, man.
That's a lot to chew on, so let's just kind of take it bit by bit. First off, if you have the desire to find a husband, I mean, God places desires in you. You know, you said since a little girl, you just knew that you wanted to be a wife and you wanted to be a mother. First off, let me say this. You know, this is 2017. And 18 now, thanks. The fact of the matter is, like, you've got to put yourself out there, you know, and by that I mean, don't be so prideful to think that you can't jump on Christian Mingle, that you can't go and hang out with friends, you can't go out. If you sit home on a Friday night and wonder, like, where your husband is, I promise he will not be ringing your doorbell unless magically you ordered some pizza and you stare into each other's eyes deeply.
How do you magically order pizza? Because I just use the app.
Yeah, that's magic, man. You know, what I'm saying is, so let's start from there. Like, you know, if this is what God has for you, if you feel like this is what since childhood, don't give up on that.
No,
don't give up on that desire and dream.
Also, punch your friends in the face who aren't single that tell you that maybe you have the gift of singleness. I hate those friends.
Yeah,
those friends are Job's friends. They're idiots.
Yeah. So let's move on to masturbation. See, the act of masturbation is not the sin. It's the thoughts that come along with it. And the problem is with humans, we can't separate the two.
Right.
The act of masturbation is not the sin. But but Jesus said, hey, if you even so much as think about a woman that's not your wife, you're committing adultery in your heart, you know. And so that's what I would say in this case. So just understand that I understand where you're coming from, you know, the loneliness and then also kind of the guilt and shame that comes along with it afterwards. You're just kind of like, what did I just do?
Well, it starts with, never mind.
Yeah, you should just
Well, he was going to ask a question. He was asking a question. I'm like, well, I can answer that. It's pretty easy.
Anyway, yeah, so that's, you know, just, I really hurt for you. I really do.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm joking
and you're not
because it's uncomfortable because I think all of us have been here.
And
we
just
all
understand,
know this well.
Oh, absolutely.
Just understand you're not alone. That's what Steve was
you're
trying
not
to say. At all. I mean, so.
Yeah, I love how you got to put yourself out there because I'm
Yeah.
kind of this. I have a personality where I'll just be at home, and unless somebody like a Steve-O in my life drags me out of the house, I'm not going to go. And so you have to put yourself out there.
So when you sit there and you're sitting there saying, I'm lonely and I hurt, but then you're sitting, like I'm saying, you know, you're sitting on the couch during the weekends.
Right.
You really can't blame God. You can't say something to the effect of, God, why are you doing this to me?
Yeah.
God doesn't want me
I'm
to
so
have
glad
a
you're
partner.
going. I wanted to talk about
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Because I want to know like where that comes from and how is God shutting these doors? Because sometimes, and not always, sometimes I have single friends who get frustrated and say that, you know, that they're searching and then they're dating and then God closes the door. And I'm like, well, what caused that? And then it's like some random weird thing that happens on a date or something. And it's like, well, that was clearly God telling me. And I'm like, are you sure it wasn't just personal preference?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
seriously. And you should be picky. Please be picky. Don't
Yes.
ever let your guard down for being picky. However, I think those are things you need to examine because that's not God's intent or God's like heart is to be that like roadblocker, if you will. The dude that's like constantly like just shutting everything down. Like, no.
Yeah. And I had a family member, not my immediate family, but I had a family member, and her expectations were incredibly high. He's got to be has to have a master's degree. He has to be well traveled. He has to be well read. All these things, and she didn't get married till well into her 30s. And the problem with that is when you set your expectations at so high, you haven't had the opportunity to actually look yourself in the mirror.
Did she find that guy?
She did. No, she did not find the guy. She's married now, but the guy has never been out of the United States, does not have anywhere close to a master's degree, is actually kind of lazy.
So she settled.
She settled, and the problem is but wait. She settled compared to what she wanted in the past. However, she's absolutely phenomenally happy.
Yeah.
Loves the guy. They have a great relationship. You know, have very happy marriage. So what I'm saying is, sometimes you just got to be honest with yourself and say, hey, you know, where are my expectations?
Yeah.
Where am I at? You know, and I think so many people are so concentrated on trying to find Mr. Right that they don't try to improve Mrs. Right and become Mrs. Right. You see what I'm saying? Are you reading books about marriage?
Going to marriage, like a marriage boot camp. You know, even if you're not married, go to one of those. I think it's great.
Hey, are you working out? Are you well read? Are you well traveled? Are you educated? What are you looking for? So stop looking for Mr. Right. Start becoming Mrs. Right and get yourself out there.
And remember, like, finding a mate doesn't solve all the problems because we've had some really good friends chime in. Like our girl Britt McVeigh just chimed in and said, you are not alone. Here's the thing, man. I felt lonely even in my marriage, and it has nothing to do with my husband. I've had to find comfort in Jesus and him alone. And so that's something that you should definitely, as we're talking about working on Mrs. Right, you talk about this overwhelming desire to be with someone and how God's shutting you down, and then you kind of added in there these like really crappy characteristics of God that are not his character that you've kind of like interjected onto God because you're unhappy being single. You've got to be careful with that because if that's what you think is going to make you content and you're going to find your joy and your happiness in that dude, I promise you at some point you're going to find yourself in the same place feeling discontent and just being sad and depressed and wondering why and maybe going back to masturbating because, well, now this guy isn't satisfying me because the truth of the matter is that's not your ultimate satisfaction and it never will be. This coming from a bunch of married dudes in the room. I've been married 15 years, and I'm like, yeah, no, I hear you. I know what you're going through. That's not going to magically disappear. All of a sudden, you're like, I'm married. Good thing. I never have to do this ever again, and I'm never wanting to because we're just going to have sex all the time, and it's going to be a party. Am I right? I'm going to go.
Okay. Here's the deal. Like, you want to set yourself up for a good marriage. Be content, like Steve was saying, be content and happy in yourself and in Jesus Christ before you get into marriage.
Not with yourself. In yourself.
Man, too soon. I'm just saying, like, I think, geez, I think that's the best way for marriage to even start off well, because if you're looking for that other person to make you happy, I guarantee my wife will tell you, hey, there are definitely days when that dude does not make me happy.
Yeah.
Just the opposite.
Yeah.
And I can say the same for her. And also, you know, just because you're married, let me tell you for a fact that you still struggle with masturbation. It is not like a surefire way.
Yeah.
A surefire way, like, well, that's it, you know? I mean, there is a multitude of different, you know, things that happen in life, whether it's everything from ED to a separation because of your traveling. You know, there's many things in life that life throws at you. So just don't understand that 1 + 1 does not always equal 2.
Well, I mean, in mathematics it does.
Well,
But
debatable.
there's no
kidding.
love and loss in the mathematics of
Look, we got a phone call. Good morning.
alexithymia. What?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Yo.
Sorry, this is a different subject line. I hope you guys don't mind changing the subject for a while. I have
No, we're
things that are
good.
going
Yeah.
on
No, we're good.
in my life right now, and I need help because
to
it's been bothering me for quite a while. Hopefully, you guys can help me. My boyfriend, he and I have a bad past. My boyfriend, his father was in jail for a long time. He finally got out. I guess it was drug related. My father actually passed away from a drug related incident as well, and I grew up in an abused household. Until I was 13, I actually was able to move out of my house, and my mom became a single parent raising 2 daughters. So here is my question. My boyfriend, he goes to school every Thursday. He's an electrician, and he has to go to the schooling to finish his degree, pretty much to become a journeyman. And before he goes to school, he goes to the bar with some friends. As I've told him plenty of times, I don't mind him going with his friends. I'm glad that he actually does, because he's such a hard worker, and, you know, he helps me and support my bills, because I am actually just graduating, and so I'm about to start my career. The question is, though, that he doesn't know how to control drinking so much sometimes. And before in the past, he's come home and, like, literally just crash out on the floor, and I'm having to, like, sprinkle water on his face to wake him up and go to bed, pretty much. And I finally talked to him about it, saying, like, you know, if we accommodated 2 drinks only so he can go to school and be sober, and then come home to me sober as well. And it just, dealing with this in my past, seeing my father deal with this as well, it brings a lot of PTSD, I guess. So he feels like I don't let him go, and that I'm jealous, I guess you can say, of him having friends to go out with every Thursday before school. So I don't know how to kind of help him out and help him understand. I told him that it's not him, and that he's more than happy to go and hang out with the guys. And I've told him about my past as well. He knows a lot about my past. But he's a very stubborn person. So he still doesn't understand how this bugs me. So I don't know if you guys can help me out, because you guys are guys, and of course you guys go out all the time, and your wife seems pretty chill with that. So
We go out all the time.
I don't know.
Guys, how often do you guys
Not
go out?
always.
We go out all the time.
No.
Oh, dude, all the time. I never go out. But that's actually what I wanted to talk about, was that idea. As you mentioned, like, going out all the time. You know, there's something that happens in any relationship that you've got to end up compromising on certain things. I don't go out all the time. I get invited out pretty regularly, and my friends think I hate them because I don't go out all the time. But my married friends absolutely understand, especially those with kids, that this isn't going to be a thing in my life. My immediate question is this: is he coming home housed? Like, he's coming home to you drunk? Is this problematic?
He actually stopped doing that a long time ago, since I talked to him and really told him, like, if you do this again, we're ending it, because I'm not going to be your mom, pretty much.
Okay. But, which is funny, because, like, it sounds like you're still, quote unquote, being his mom in a way, because if I get this clear, like, every Thursday he goes out with the dudes and drinks too much and comes home to you in a way that you don't want him to, right?
So he used to, but now not anymore. He sticks with the 2 beer limit.
Right.
But it still bugs me. He doesn't come home drunk. He goes to school sober. He's doing good in school. He's getting good grades on his tests again. Like, he's completely listened to me about the situation. It's just that I don't know why it still bugs me.
Cool.
That he still goes on Thursdays.
Right. Now, this is your boyfriend, right?
Correct.
So, Christ Jesus was the ultimate liberator. And what I love about Jesus is that he was high support and high challenge at the same time because he loved people so very much. And so I want to tell you first off that I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you because you overcame an abusive childhood to be able to trust someone again, like a boyfriend. And I think that is so incredible. And I'm proud of where you've come from and how much you've accomplished. I'm proud of you for going to school and about to graduate. So I just want to start out with saying, I'm really proud of you. But
Thank you so much. It's been hard.
But I want to go a little bit deeper here. And here's where the high challenge comes in. And I'm glad you didn't mention your name simply because I want to talk to you in a way that because it's a little more anonymous. But I think what I hear from you is you're right. There is some PTSD, there's some past, there's some abuse. But here's the situation. You are looking at a speck in another man's eye without looking at the plank in yours because you're having sex with this guy outside of marriage. And I want to be high challenge and tell you, I'm sorry, but right now you're not living for Jesus Christ. You're not doing everything that you can. And I know that hurts and that stings and that probably sounds insultive, but it's not because I don't know your name. I don't know you. And I want to be high challenge in this situation. If you want this to clear up, if you want to get closer with Jesus Christ, if you want to set everything on track, you need to break up or not break up. You just need to go and live apart because right now you're playing house, you're playing home, and everything's out of line right now. And this is part of it. The drinking is part of it. The sleeping together is part of it. The living as one. And you said just a second ago, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and break up with you if you do this one thing that I don't like. But the thing is, on the contrary, it's not a sin. Drinking is not a sin. Yes, the PTSD hurts. Yes, the abuse hurts. Yes, the past hurts, but it's not a sin. And what's separating you from God right now is actually deeper than 2 drinks on a Thursday. It's living an intimate lifestyle with someone who is not your husband. And I would say for the sake of your future children, for the sake of your future relationships, for the sake of if this is the man you're supposed to be with for the rest of your life, for the sake of your marriage, things have to change. And it's not just a 2 drinks on Thursday night. So I would say, yes, approach him in love and go and say, listen, this has to change, but actually a lot of things has to change. I'm going to move back in with my mother. Now, this is if you're serious about your relationship with him and you're serious about your relationship with Jesus Christ. It's got to be deeper than 2 drinks, my friend. And I love you and I'm proud of you. But honestly, there's a speck and that's the 2 drinks, and there's a plank and that's you creating a house, cooking for him, cleaning for him, creating a home. The word home was actually mentioned, but it's not. If things are in disarray, and I think you guys have to have a lot deeper conversation than what just happens one night a week.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for that.
Thank you for calling.
It did sting, but I'm glad that, you were straight up with me about it.
And you
I
have
needed to hear this.
You have to understand, like, full on, this is one of my favorite human beings on the planet in this room.
Man.
And no, shut your mouth. And I know that Stephen is truly, genuinely coming from a place of love for you, for your situation, because if you are serious, which it seems like you so genuinely want your relationship and your world to change, that is honestly, as he put it, that's the way to enact change. That is the way to honor God, and that is the way for God to look at your relationship and bless your life.
That's right.
And make true, genuine, lasting change. Because sure, you can stay living with him, you can keep nagging, and you can keep telling him what you don't like, and you can just continue to build that up, and maybe it'll band-aid it for a time, but ultimately God cannot honor that. And man, I've seen so many transformations in people's lives when they truly give a life, a relationship, a job, a child and anything up to the Lord and see what he can do with the situation, because I promise you he's going to far exceed your expectations for what your relationship can look like when you truly honor him.
Yeah, and when you both honor Jesus Christ by doing what his word says and give your life over to God, I think that's when the Holy Spirit can come in and convict you and can convict him and can say, hey, you know, you're both obviously his father too had a problem with substances, and your father. So to be honest, you know, I would think any psychologist would tell him, please don't even touch the stuff because of your not pre-existing condition, but you're genetically predisposed to alcohol. So therefore don't. Yeah. But the Holy Spirit, that's the Holy Spirit's job, because as my pastor here, Pastor Skip, once said it from the pulpit, he said, humans can condemn. It's the Holy Spirit's job to beautifully convict. And I love that, because when you point a finger at him and you say, you, that feels like condemnation, and he might not take it well. But when the Holy Spirit is able to work and flow through your life because of your pursuit of Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit comes in and just says, hey man, don't do this. And then it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful transformation, but it just sounds like a few things need to get right before you're there.
Well, thank you guys so much for your help. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for calling.
Yeah, and I just want to tell you that I love you, and I want to make sure that you know that this isn't complete from a place of condemnation. Nope. It comes from a place of high challenge, because I want to see you draw closer to Jesus Christ. I want to see you draw closer to your boyfriend, who's hopefully your husband. You know, I want to see you have a beautiful life in Jesus Christ.
Man.
Mic drop.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. You guys have a good one.
You too.
Thank you. Do you want to just take my spot? I'm going to leave.
No,
I can't do this anymore.
I'm shaking. I'm literally shaking.
No,
you missed your calling.
Because what do you mean, Mr. Colin? He's within his calling right now in this moment.
Good call,
because he was the lead singer in this freaking amazing band, and everybody's like, "What are you doing?" And then I see him do things like this in this moment, and know that he also had a decision to make. He was living that cush life, you know what I'm saying? And this man was like, I want to do more for the kingdom because I want his will to be done, and I feel this tug, and he's here as a pastor at Calvary Albuquerque, and I'm like, I'm going to cuss. I'm so happy.
Awesome, man.
That was one of my favorite moments, because I hope others take something away from that, in that it is possible to be salt and light. It is possible to love someone in a situation and not condone a situation. It is possible to share an absolute truth and speak the gospel into them without condoning or condemning, because dude, there's a fine line, and sometimes we try to deliver the truth in a way that is arrogant, that is condescending, that can be devastating or damaging, and whereas the words hurt, you could tell that it was absorbed well because there was love behind it. Yeah. And I'm freaking proud of you, man.
Thanks,
I loved
it was beautiful, man.
I loved that moment.
Awesome. You know, and it's hard. It's hard to kind of challenge someone, because especially you want to make sure everybody's feeling good. Are you okay? But sometimes, man, you just gotta drive through and just say
love. You had love all over that.
Yeah.
That's what was beautiful about it.
Go and do the same, you know, to your friends out there. Like, you know, but you have to go in love. You know, again, humans condemn. Do not condemn people. There's nothing good. I've noticed that it's parents to children. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
They speak into their life so like with an Uzi, and the kid's just kind of like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
But you have to go in there and show them that you love and you care. Hey, I support you. You know, let's go camping. Oh, great. That was a great weekend camping, Dad. Hey, you know, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I really had a great time. But before we end this camping trip, there's one thing that, you know, you see what I'm saying? You have to pour into a life to be able to let them listen. And that's why a lot of times, like, missionaries to me, when you go and do mission trips, they're fine when you go for a week. Yeah. But you go there and you shoot this Uzi and you just, of the gospel, and just like, well, I got you. And then you walk away. Man, that I can see God can use that, but it's the discipleship. It's the people on the ground. It's when you hand that homeless man a sandwich instead of saying, well, you wouldn't be out here if it wasn't for Jesus. You know, if you'd given your life to Jesus.
Right.
No, it's about going and handing them some socks and some sandwiches and just saying, hey, how can I pray for you? You know, that makes a bigger impact than condemning them. They know how they got there. They know why they're there. They see their own background. They see what their lacks or what happened to them. They already know their past. Go in there and do it with love.
505-338-3700. Shock Therapy Live, good morning.
Good morning. I'd like to talk about an issue that I'm having.
Okay.
We've got a live-in roommate who he likes to eat a lot of beef and doesn't eat bread, but he's drinking all of our water.
What? Okay. Out of your refrigerator?
Sometimes he does the dishes. Sometimes. But I'm telling you, our water bill has gone through the roof. I don't know what to do. Do I kick him out? Do I just love him?
No, you just love him, man, and you just allow him to continue to be there so that you can show that love, because obviously maybe he's not seeing it yet, but until he does, that's when...
See,
yeah.
I immediately think of
years.
On the
Years.
flip side, I'd say you got to kick him out immediately, because Proverbs 25:17 says, "Seldom set foot in your neighbor's house. Too much of you, and they will hate
What?
you."
What was that? I'm sorry.
I think my mic. Sorry. Too much of you, and they will hate you. So I just,
How can you love somebody that likes to eat beets? I mean, it's just weird.
You know what, Bill? I'm packing up my stuff today. I'll be out.
Oh, wait, this is Bill? I had no idea.
I love you, bye.
Okay, I love you. Okay, bye.
Not picking Kay up at the airport either. I'm not finishing your laundry either.
Can we move on? I don't know.
You do his laundry?
Wash your underwear every day.
I don't even know what that means. That's gross.
Oh, man.
Do you starch them?
Yep.
Press them?
Hey, you guys want to talk about prayer?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yes. We got an email coming in. It says, I have quite a few people around me being diagnosed with cancer lately. My husband's mom, my adopted daughter's real mom, a coworker's mom, and others. One person has already passed away from it, and one was just told she had months to live. My husband and I both have grandfathers who died from cancer, and they both knew Jesus. It hurts my heart to hear about all these loved ones going through this. I've been praying for all of them, calling out each one by name and petitioning God to heal them, but I feel like my prayers aren't being heard. My daughter went and prayed over her mom, but was discouraged because she felt like her mom didn't have the faith to receive it. So here are my questions. How can my family pray and intercede on behalf of these people? How can we speak and pray healing over them even if they don't believe they can be healed? I know my God is willing and able to defeat those cancer cells, but how do I convince those who haven't?
I think the great starting point would be to read the book "Crazy Love" by Francis Chan.
Yeah,
and I'm going to give you a little bit of a paraphrased version, but you need to read it because it's really powerful. Because it hurts. It hurts to read simply because he's in there. He prefaces and he says something to the effect of, "Yes, I get that you're praying against this cancer," or he just obviously doesn't say the word cancer, but I know you're praying against this ailment. But what if we should be praying, "Thy will be done"? And it's hard because we want to pray, "Lord, protect my kids at this school."
Yeah.
But honestly, the Bible says it is appointed for every man to die. There's a minute, there's an hour, there's a second, and God knows it. And no matter how much you pray or you don't pray, or they live in faith or they don't live in faith, whatever the case might be, it's already appointed. So let's just put that out of the way. And I know that's tough to swallow because, I understand what you're saying. You're saying, can I pray harder? Can they pray harder? Is there faith? But just understand in the back of your mind, just know it's already appointed. That being said, yes, prayer is absolutely necessity. I mean, in our daily lives, in our walks, and yes, pray against cancer. God can work miracles. I mean, how do we not know through our prayers, God uses us to allow them to beat cancer and live another 2 decades. So I'm not excusing the fact that you should not pray. Please pray. But also follow some biblical foundations. Have the elders of your church come to the hospital bed or to their bedside and pray for them. That's what the Bible said. Gather some elders together, go pray for them. But I would highly encourage you to, no matter what their position on prayer is, or on faith, or on cancer, whatever the case might be, you still must pray. Show your adopted daughter that this is what we do. This is how we keep going. In spite of them, we keep going. Because here's the deal. I'm not sure totally whose faith it is that makes the person well. Is it your faith? Is it their faith? And you're saying, well, where's that in the Bible? Well, see, there was this one time Jesus was preaching, and there were so many people crammed in this little room that a man had an ailment, and he could not speak, and he could not walk, and his friends took him on the roof, took some tiles off the roof, lowered him down in front of Jesus, and Jesus healed him. Okay, that was the friend's faith that made him well. Go look it up. Go read the passage. The friend's faith made him well. How do I not know you are the friend that makes this, that is the conduit in which Jesus uses to heal this person? Yeah. So I understand what you're saying. You're saying, this person doesn't have enough faith and they may not believe that God can heal them. You do?
Yeah.
So you keep pressing on through.
Man, you ever think about being a pastor?
Okay.
I think you missed your calling.
I'm praying about it.
Okay.
Just saying.
We have so many questions coming in.
Praise
guys.
God.
I know, right?
I do have to leave in 5 minutes. I have a counseling appointment.
Oh, good. Somebody said, why is Steve-O always the biggest fanboy for you?
Oh, because, after a decade of friendship.
A decade?
Yeah.
A decade? It's 2018.
Hold on, guys. I just got a text message that says get paid from $1,400 to $5,600 after viewing this powerful clip. I'll be right back.
Okay.
What? Make money, dog.
Seems legit. Hashtag seems legit.
A decade? That's it?
More. It's been more.
It's like 15 years.
I don't believe that.
Gosh, you're such a jerk.
Well, there were several years in there I wasn't really your friend. So wow. I don't really count those.
Those were the dark years. That's why he wrote that album, Dark as Your Horse, Light as Your Face. It was a really good record. But if you go back and listen to the lyrics, darkest time period. He actually wrote the song Impossible.
Can we get to a question?
About our relationship.
He's literally got like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Somebody said God doesn't owe us healing, just like he doesn't owe us a husband or a wife. Sometimes he does, and we ask for it in hope, but we must be careful. You don't have enough faith for healing as a massive arrow in the heart of someone you love. My God is big enough to heal the least believing person on the planet. We need to believe that.
Okay. I can see that,
Yeah. Somebody, gosh, that's Theology Thursday type question. I don't know. Somebody says, but why should we even pray if everything is already appointed?
No, never because God asks us to. Like there was like in the Old Testament.
Dude, Jesus was praying.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he knew the outcome of what was about to happen, but he was like praying so hard, he's like sweating blood because it was that moment. It was coming, and he knew what was coming. And he still spent all of that time on earth right before his death on his knees before the Father praying, not my will, but your will be done. Go read John 16. Get out of my life.
Mic drop.
Sorry, Steven's
No.
really nicer about it.
He had it. There was a prophet in the Old Testament that, told the kingdom, hey, there's going to be a drought. And there was, and, but thank goodness the people in leadership took him seriously and stored up food. Well, God could have made it rain, but instead God asked the prophet, why don't you go on the mountaintop, pray, and I'll release the rain? Well, why? Why does God need us? I don't know that answer. Why does God need us? Why does he need our prayer? I don't know, but the scripture is very poignant about how powerful our tongue is. How that when we bind something on earth, it is bound in heaven. When we loose something on earth, it is loosed in heaven. So the prophet went up to the top of the mountain and said, rain, God, please let it rain. Bam, started raining.
Yeah.
God could have made it rain, but he used a human, again, as a conduit for his will and purpose.
And in the New Testament, Jesus actually did make it rain because he flipped those tables and the money went everywhere and he was like, making it rain! Okay, moving on. Hey, Steven, since Warped Tour is ending...
Dad joke.
Jeez.
Dad joke.
Oh.
Since Warped Tour is ending, if they asked Amberlynn to get back together and play for the finale of Warped Tour, would you guys do some shows?
I don't think so.
What?
Yeah.
The last one.
I know. I'm good, man. I'm solid.
That's the answer we needed.
Yeah, I will be.
He's
there.
found his calling, guys.
I'll be there. I'll be there in Albuquerque. At the
Do they have an Albuquerque date? I don't think they do.
No, they don't. Well, then I won't be there.
Yeah.
I was going to be there.
Hey guys, I'm a 20-year-old in construction. I'm really trying hard to follow God, but I work with over 1,000 grown men who are almost all anti-religion in some way, shape, or form. I find myself falling and failing often around them, but this is my job we're talking about. It's how I feed my kids. How do I honor God and be who I want to be, but also do it in an extremely secular, worldly job? Hey, lead singer of Amberlynn, could you speak to that one?
Yeah. Man, it's tough. I can honestly say I'm not just, I'm not trying to like say, oh, I understand, bro. I really do. I was there.
Dude.
I mean, the guy sitting right next to me, this guy's doing cocaine, and this guy over here is doing something else. So it's just kind of, it's a tough world out there, man. And so what I had to do personally is I had to call my accountability partner. His name's Seth Kane, and in Orlando, Florida. And I said, "Why don't you come out? I'll give you my per diem. You just have to be on the road with me because I'm scared I'm going to stumble." He did. He eventually became our tour manager, and even though I still failed, he was always right there to kind of encourage me, exhort me. Now, is it as easy as calling up one of your friends and saying, "Hey, man, I know you're a Christian. Come work in construction with me. Quit whatever job you're doing"? No, it may not be like that. But if you let your light so shine before men, perhaps someone out there that's in that community, out of 1,000 men, one of them is in the same place you might be. Maybe they're not vocal. Maybe they're not as vocal as you are. Whatever the case might be, there's got to be one of those people in the 1,000. It's your job to find them. But listen, you've got to be a light. You have got to be salt, because if you don't reach these men, who will? Yeah. They're not coming to Calvary. They're not going to, come and make a counseling appointment with me. They're not going to go to the same show. They're not going to go to a worship, concert and find Jesus. What if God is calling you to be a missionary? And it's tough. Missionaries go to Africa all the time, and some missionaries in places like, communist China, they get persecuted. They get thrown in prison. There's people there's Christians in Indonesia today that were going to die for their faith, but they are going to stay strong. So what I'm asking you to do is go to a Bible-believing church, man. Get some foundational, solid teaching. Surround yourself on the off time with, don't go hang out with those guys after work. You're around them enough. Go find some Bible-believing friends and go, if it's a Bible study, if it's just going to hang out, go bowling, whatever I don't care what you do, go find some people that believe in Jesus Christ and hang out with them, because iron sharpens iron. But also realize that you are a missionary, and you are, a light. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. And so just, man, keep that in mind. Keep going. Be encouraged. God has placed you there for a reason.
Stephen Christian, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming in. We know you have to leave. We love you.
Perfect timing. The show
love
is
you.
ending. Love you, buddy.
Man, that was incredible. If you missed any of the show this morning, you missed this last hour, that was phenomenal.
My immediate question was, which one of us was doing cocaine in that story?
Yeah, he kind of pointed
Wow. The one on his left was doing, I was like, no.
Guys,
Dude,
we're done.
Great hour. If you missed any part of it, catch it on demand, because, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, we also are on YouTube. Go subscribe, Star 88 FM. We'll upload that to our YouTube channel if you missed the show. We're also at facebook.com/Star 88 FM.
Hey, and a real quick shout out to our boy Looper, who chimed in and said, I work construction. I'm around this a lot as well. For me, it was wearing my faith on my sleeve, not shoving it in their faces, but putting a cross on my hard hat, making a concerted effort not to cuss. It showed, and I get asked a lot of questions about life now, but I was surrounding myself in my faith. You can do it, bro.
Love it.
You can do it.
Guys, have a great day. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow.
That's all we got. There ain't no more. That's right. Time is tight. It's the end of the show.
February 21st of 2018 must have been a date circled in red on heaven's calendar, because that was the day Billy Graham was ushered into his reward for being a faithful servant of Jesus Christ.
I don't claim to be going to heaven today because I have preached or because I'm a good man. I claim to be going to heaven only on the merit and the ground of Jesus.
Just as he is, a tribute to Billy Graham.